Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Music Mondays. It's your boy Zom Slays, and I hope you're well. This is episode 69. I can't believe I'm actually saying that, but yeah, this is episode 69. I hope you're well. I hope you all had a good week. Episode 68 is live on the channel. You guys know the drill. If you haven't checked it out, make sure you go show it some love, man. So what's poppin'? I love this waiting music so much still. Like, it's juicy. The vocal set will go crazy. Mark Bloodcat, welcome. I hope you're well. So, like I said, I hope you're all well. We've got some decent updates for you guys this week. Basically, I'm just gonna sound off everything, but the most important thing that we have to discuss here is Curing Cases of the Mondays is finally live on SoundCloud and YouTube. So, first off, if you haven't fucking heard it, go play that shit. Every artist on there worked extremely hard. Everybody was super willing to be a part of the album and just super excited to be a part of things, man. And everybody was super easy to work with, and I'm just really happy it went well. And it came out tracklist wise really good. I'm just overall impressed with how fast and like how well everybody did, because everybody came through extremely quick and they were all bangers. Everybody did their thing. There were no restrictions or anything like that, but yeah, man, I'm really happy that Curing Cases of the Mondays is live, man. I'm really excited for that. So per usual, it'll be linked in the description of this YouTube re-upload. You can find it on our socials. You can find it on our Instagram. You can find it pretty much everywhere that you can find Music Mondays. So go check that out. And actually, more importantly, man, go support these wonderful artists that wanted to be a part of this collaboration album of unreleased exclusive music, man. We're definitely going to be doing another one of these, not anytime soon, but definitely won't be the last Music Mondays album. That's for sure. So make sure you run this one up. Show these artists some love, man. And personally, from Zom Slays to every artist and everybody who supported that album, if you were part of it, if you made a beat, if you made the cover, shout out Aster, thank you. That went really well, and I'm really proud of it, and I hope you guys are too. So, other updates. Like I said, episode 68 is live on our YouTube channel. Make sure you go check that out. All artists featured on that episode are linked in the description per usual. SoundCloud Sunday Volume 30 is live on our SoundCloud. Make sure you go check that out as well. I curated that one on my own. Shout out to our staff designer Michael Jones for the cover. But man, this week's SoundCloud Sunday definitely hits. I think every single track, besides like 2 or 3, are under 100 plays. So go check that out, man. There's a lot of unheard bangers in there, 100%. So as you guys know, the show has been slowly making its way onto all audio platforms, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you listen to shows. So officially, the first 50 episodes of Music Mondays are live on all audio sites. And basically, the first 50 episodes make up all of Season 1. 51 through 100 are Season 2. Of course, if you're listening live, we're on episode 69. So yeah, really proud of that as well. The whole complete first season of Music Mondays is available everywhere. So, and truly, it's only like a year old, if that. Like all those episodes, like I talk like they're archived like years ago, but truly, like I've done 70 episodes since January of 2021. So all that content is still pretty relevant, and a lot of it, like, I don't even remember because I was just doing it every week. Sort of like how I was speaking about episode 26, and that one sort of like struck a chord with me because that was when I was going through a whole bunch of bullshit, and I ended up like seeing everything through, and like kept working, kept my head down, and ended up with a foundation of something that I really wanted. And it was really insane to look back on. So and it's only been a year, so definitely go check those out, man. The first 50 episodes are quite the time capsule, and around episode 50 is when we started getting a lot of submissions. I think we did our first like 2-hour show in like the 40s, and then ever since then we've been a 3 to 5 hour podcast like every week. I can't remember the last time we've done a show that's like 2 hours. There hasn't been many recently. Not that I'm complaining, but it definitely like indicates growth, and it's really cool to see. Really, really cool to see. So you guys know the drill. Go run those up, and if you're wondering where do I find any of those, all Music Mondays on all platforms, Instagram, Twitter, all the good stuff. Our YouTube is Music Mondays as well. There's a big link in our bio with pretty much every platform that we're available on, which is everything. So make sure you go show us some love. One last thing. Friday, I dropped a pretty important interview that was conducted by myself. It was a pretty lengthy interview as well. Took about 3 hours or so. But my Lord Heretic interview is actually live on allmusicmondays.com. So if you haven't read that, definitely go check that out. Heretic has been around longer than most people realize. He has a work ethic like a lot of people can't match. And there's just a lot of good stories in there that I feel like people should hear. And we covered a lot of bases. So it's definitely a Zomslace classic, without a doubt. So if you haven't read that, go check that out. It's really like, I wouldn't say it's my best interview of all time, but it's definitely up there, especially when it comes to term of Music Mondays interviews. So shout out Heretic for that. And if you haven't, make sure you go check that out. And Kale with the prime sub. Let's fucking get it. Shout out to Kale, man. Let's go, baby. Let's fucking get it, Kale. That is too nice of you, my friend. Too fucking nice of you. Let's fucking go, baby. Kale came through with the prime sub. First time ever, bro. Now you have the exclusive Music Mondays emote. You can spam that in the chat. Everybody who has subbed, thank you, thank you, thank you. Huge shout out to Kale, man. That was really, really nice of you, homie. Really, really nice of you. Just to make a pit stop, as you guys all know, Music Mondays is not a pay-to-play platform. We don't accept money for articles, submissions, anything like that. All our monetary gain is through places like Spotify, places like here on Twitch. Basically everything that I've ever made off my stream, even podcast aside, has gone directly back into my setup, and really supports everything I do. So if you were to consider subscribing, it definitely helps out immensely. But if you don't, you're never required to. Don't ever feel like you have to sub or anything like that. So it's a huge shout out to anyone who does, man, because we don't pride ourselves on subs around here, but that's definitely like very greatly appreciated for sure. So shout out to Kale, man. Thank you, homie. Thank you. So chat, everybody, let me tweet the stream out and we'll have a little conversation. And I think you guys are going to feel me on this one, because you know we talk about a lot of things here on Music Mondays, and this is definitely one that I feel like I really should, like, I've definitely like addressed it like a while ago, but not recently. So I feel like it's a good subject to touch back on. So let me sip some water, and we're gonna have a quick, interesting conversation. Hola, baby. So, stream is about to be tweeted. One thing that it wasn't like last night, maybe it was like the night before or something like that. One thing that I wanted to really discuss on the show is the term underground. Zom said I gotta post this, hold up. Is the term underground, and I feel like the term underground, it gets thrown around with the wrong definition and perception a lot. I see people, you know, saying they don't want to be underground. I see people saying that underground sucks, and you know, I feel like it's one important thing here is I feel like the definition of underground is very subjective, right? Especially when you're talking in terms of art, because underground, I feel like people just jump to conclusions and think it's like like any artist who starts out and that doesn't have a support base. Like, but when I started making music, and it sounds like I'm fucking ancient, but it was really only in like 2017, and then I've been like a long time fan since probably like 2013. Is when I first discovered Bones, and then you know, fell into the Young Leans, and I never got into like Suicide Boys or anything like that, but I definitely listened to a lot of Bones, a lot of Young Lean, Chris Travis, Wolf, a lot of favorites of mine, especially Blade, early Blade too. But nonetheless, being an underground artist means so much more than like just being an independent artist, because I feel like people get the two mixed up a lot. Being independent, like, there are tons of like independent mainstream artists, there are tons of, you know, quote unquote mainstream, you know, the term's used loosely, but being an underground artist isn't just like a term or like or like something people say to like coin themselves because they haven't gotten on yet. Like, being underground is like is all about a lot to me. Now, this is my opinion, this isn't like fact or anything like that, so don't take this out of context, right? Because everybody, you know, clearly has their like warped perception of like what an underground artist is, but to me it was something that was so coveted and so like inspirational. Like, the growth that I saw and like the support that Bones got, like, truly from like 2013 when I first discovered him, and Bones is just an example because I actually watched it happen. Like, this man like blew up before my eyes, and like not like blown up like, you know, get on fucking, you know, the billboards and this and this and this. Like, there was a point in time like we were geeking out because A$AP Rocky wanted the Bones feature and he wanted to like remix Dirt, and like that wasn't because Bones fucking reached out to him, bro. That was because A$AP Yams was putting on the whole crew to a bunch of artists, and including Bones and Young Lean. And when Yams passed away, well, I forget the name of the album that he was on, but A$AP Rocky wanted to work with Bones and remix Dirt, and that's why he randomly got on there. And not a lot of people like were around to see that happen, because we were already listening to Bones for like a long time then. And it was so surreal to see And like, I'm not sure if I was producing at the time. I'd have to know the year, because I started making music in 2017. But nonetheless, it was really inspirational, because like, much like we were talking about last week with like Bones' brother Elliot, and just a whole slew of subjects, like it was so real to us to like see these artists like do it all themselves, like do everything like on their own, like have full control of what they put out, when they put it out, when they roll out merch drops, when they tour, putting together their tours. Like, I truly was raised, and like the term raised is, you know, theoretical, because I was like, what, fucking 17 at the time when I first found Bones and shit. So I was truly like raised on that mindset where it was like, man, like there was a point in time, bro, every other lyric was fuck these labels and da 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 da, you work for a suit and da 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 da. Like, being underground was like respected so much, so fucking much, because it was the artists who could hold their own, who paid their rent and changed their families' lives, and didn't have to fucking sign a check and make songs they didn't like, and, you know, work with artists they don't fuck with, and become like an industry puppet. Like, that was the type of shit that like we fucking steered away from, like, because we were like, fuck that, like, we're talented as shit, like, hell no, like, we can make some real raw original shit. And that's what labels love. They want your genuine support base, and they want your original creative input so they can mold it to what they want. And they want to fucking, you know, put you in this and do this and do this. And before I continue, that's not necessarily a bad thing, right? Because this is where everything gets blurred. And the terms underground and success are very, you know, subjective, because people's definitions of underground and people's definitions of success are very different. Some people want the limelight. Some people want to, you know, be at the VMAs and, you know, all the award shows and do this and do this and do that. And then some people just want to get out of their fucking shitty life. And some people want to change lives with their music. Some people want to do all that while changing lives with their music. Like, and like, the underground was like filled with that at one point, like really fucking filled with it. And make no mistake, that's what I mean when I talk about the Music Mondays vision, and why I still do this, why I have gone 69 weeks in a row doing this show, why I continued after getting snaked, why I continued after friends died from this scene. Because all of that is like way above me. It means more than all of us. Music Mondays is like, it's what it's supposed to be, and it's slowly getting there. And people are understanding that, you know, people still get shocked when you can't pay to be on Music Mondays and shit. People still get shocked when we do the shit that we do. And it's because there are artists, there are creatives, there are people out there that love this shit and want to not only treat this as a career, but have fun, change lives, meet new people, travel the world, and not have some, you know, big tough white guy in a suit tell you how to make music. And being an underground artist, creative, producer, whatever you are, is always going to be a very respectful thing. And if you're out here like trying to like act like it's a bad thing to be underground, you're wrong. And I don't want to fucking hear it. Like, flat out, you're wrong. Because nobody wants to be underground, right? That's just the shitty definition of it. But when you develop this fan base or a cult-like following, or, you know, you develop friendship and you travel across your country and meet people in different countries, like through music, and you're able to like learn shit through music and like how to become a business person for yourself and make a career and not need, you know, abusive people to come and change shit up for you. Like, it was about proving you could do it on your own. And it still is, to me. Truly. So, if you're wondering why I do this, or what's the point and end goal, and you know, all of those things, all those questions you may or may not have, that should probably answer them, man. Being underground is something that's like in my blood. A lot of this music saved my life at one point. A lot of my content, whether it be music, interviews, anything I've done has truly changed people's lives. And I can't tell you how many people have said, Zom, you stopped me from suicide. Zom, you inspire me so much, and this and this and this. It's so humbling, because I'm still navigating my life, right? And when people tell me that, it reminds me to never quit, because there's a bigger meaning to all of this. And I talked to a few artists about this, you know, privately, and they feel the same way. There's a bigger meaning to all of this. And it's very important to me. Very, very important to me. So, being an underground artist is a good thing. Don't ever feel like you're slept on. Don't ever feel like your work doesn't have a place. Music Mondays is the place for the unheard. And one day will be the sought after platform that everybody looks for the latest unheard of artists. Because that's just what we're gonna do. But it's just the core of it all, man. The true core of it all. So, I hope you guys get where I'm coming from when I say that. But definitely something I wanted to at least speak on a little bit and talk about, because after a certain point, you know what I mean, like, that same underground was gone after a while, and it'll never be the same, but you gotta craft something new, you know? We just gotta keep growing, you know? It doesn't have to be, you know, dead or anything like that, because you can never go back to what it was, so fuck it. We move forward, you know? Pick up the bags. So anybody who tries to spit on that, man, you're crazy. Absolutely crazy. So, that's that on that, chat. I hope you guys enjoyed my mini rant there. That was something that I had discussed for a minute, you know? But I felt like needed to be addressed again, for sure. So, let's pull up these submissions, and we'll get right into it, because you guys know the drill, man. You guys know the drill. You guys know what time it is. You guys know what time it is. Get it, baby. Move that out the way. Okay, so check it. We have a guide on this dropping on our YouTube channel relatively soon, most likely this week. But for those of you who don't know, this is how you submit to the podcast. Time to eat this edible and rip the E-wood. Let them know. Okay, let's fucking get it, baby. Time to fucking chill out. I hear you. So, you might be wondering out there, how the fuck do I submit to the podcast? How do I get on the show? This is how you get on the show. This is how you get on the show. Listen, Artists and creatives. Submissions are open for live reviews on Music Mondays. Live on 5/16/22 at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, twitch.tv/zonplays, which is here and now. If you'd like to submit your music, artwork, fashion, or digital creations, drop your links and portfolios below. All forms are welcome. So, starting off, the reason why we curate submissions through Twitter and not anywhere else, not through our email or anything like that, is to keep the show free flow, to give respect to the other artists who have submitted via Twitter. And that way we don't have to bounce around, open a bunch of tabs, Google Drive links, fucking you name it. So if you want to get on the show, make sure you follow us on Twitter and look out for these tweets that go live after the show every Tuesday. Now, contrary to our name, we review everything, including music. So vocals, instrumentals, everything music related, including music videos. But we also feature artwork, fashion, merchandise, digital creations, NFTs. We've pretty much covered every base here on Music Mondays. If you're an independent creator that thinks your work deserves to be featured here, feel free to drop your portfolio or link or anything like that, for sure. And that includes short films as well. Shout out to Offspring Mysterious. So, what else? Well, the only thing that we ask is because, of course, you guys know we don't, accept money for submissions or anything like that, yada, yada, yada. You guys know the drill. You gotta be following Music Mondays on Twitter to be eligible. So if you're looking to get your music or anything featured here on the show, our only guideline and precursor is that you follow us on Twitter. Spread the word, tell your friends, and drop your work, pretty much. And submissions close about a half an hour before the show starts. So, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so at about 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, we close submissions. And the reason for that is people look forward to the show all week. People submit very, very early, and we tend to close submissions early to get a head count, make sure there's nothing that we have or haven't heard, things like that. And to obviously pay respect to everybody who submits first. So if you're an early bird, shout out to you. And make sure you follow us and stay up to date with our tweets, man. Because these podcast tweets go live every Tuesday. So, let's fucking dive right into this, man. We have actually a decent list tonight. So let's actually pause our lo-fi. We'll keep that there. Tone Deaf said, I hope I'm not too late. I'm pretty sure he was. Shake my head, Tone Deaf. But first, we got the homie Absolo. And they submitted a track titled Falcon Punch. If you don't know Absolo is a producer that has been a really consistent supporter of Music Mondays, submits every week. Actually has a track on Curing Cases of the Mondays, so shout out to Absolo, man. And is extremely talented. Definitely one of those producers that I myself, as a producer, have a lot of respect for because they carry themselves like an artist, and show a lot of love and really, kind of follows what it means to be a producer and not really sleep on themselves and really, because producers are artists, man. Much like Kale in the chat right here, man. Kale does the same thing, is to where he truly owns it. So, with that said, like I said, they submitted Falcon Punch. Let's pop this open a new tabaroonie. Seven days ago, and it's private. And it's motherfucking private. Interesting. And it's titled #Rage. Or tagged, I should say. So, this should be good, man. This should be good. So, Let's check this one out. Absolno, Falcon Punch. Damn. Kick is great. Super dirty like I'm 30, baby. That was sick. That was good. Oh, that outro was great. Holy shit. This goes. Yeah, it definitely goes. 100%. Okay. Shout out to Absono for the submission. That was awesome. Alright. You guys don't drill, man. Let's break this down by two things, because obviously no vocals. We're going to talk about the instrumental, and we're going to talk about the overall theme of Falcon Punch. So, first off, let me just say this mix is awesome. Everything was so spaced out. It was so wide. I'd have to say the way that the kicks were mixed is just a shining star for me, man. I love when the kicks dropped. Really brought it all together for me. So the mix was great. Really, really wide, loud, hard hitting, but obviously not overbearing or anything like that. Now, the synths and the melodies here are really interesting. Kind of have like this upbeat vibe, but not super like happy mood. And of course it's tagged rage, so I'd say it's very like very on brand for sure. For sure. Totally could see a few artists on this, honestly, now I think about it. But nonetheless, the melodies were great here. Makes you want to bop. Makes it very bouncy. But as far as drums go, I'd say the drums were definitely a shining star for me. Like I said, the kick was probably one of my favorite parts here. And like there's a lot of little things in here, and like, you know, like small sounds and like small percussion that, like, you know, some people won't pick up on and then some people would. But either way, it's like the perfect amount. It's like the perfect sound selection as well. Like everything in this beat, whether it be drums, 808s, or the melodies and synths here, I truly think everything is like wrapped nicely because of the sound selection. Honestly, like I think Epsona really nailed it as far as cooking this one up for sure. This is one of those ones you just make and you're just going. You know what I mean? You're just like, oh, this is a fucking bop. So I think you nailed the drums, 100%, 100%. And the outro was definitely cool. Like the fake rise was really nice, as to where you thought the beat was about to come back around again, and it was just like, okay, nah. Like shit like that really makes or breaks a beat sometimes, because it's like little stuff that, like, maybe not like me or the chat or anybody else will think is that crazy, but other people will like get like, they'll like leave with an impact. They'll be like, damn, that song was fire. And it's all about the little shit, man. So I think Absolno is really, really good with that. So in terms of the instrumental itself, great. Nice and, not like nice and short, but like a solid 2 minutes. And sometimes when you're just releasing instrumentals, I feel like that can be like the perfect length. You know what I mean? Especially with enough variety, you can, let some things ride here or there. You can get creative with 2 minutes, especially when it comes to an instrumental. So definitely fuck with that a lot. Now, let's talk about theme here. A Falcon Punch, obviously aesthetically, no theme. It's a private track, not released or anything like that. But Absolno definitely kept up the black aesthetic on its profile, whether it be like a black base covers or like just like a black square. I feel like those covers really hit. Especially with like when you make it consistent. I'm pretty sure we were talking about it like last week or something like that. As to where like your profile picture or other things like that can be like really synonymous with you as an artist, and Absolno's is really like the darker theme, and I fuck with that a lot. Now, a Falcon Punch, I definitely would say is an appropriate track name, and sometimes naming your instrumentals, producers have like a hard time, but I think this is like one of my favorite parts. Sometimes I even tend to go crazy, but this is definitely like, if a Falcon Punch were to have like a sound, this could definitely be it, 100%. And it's nice and bouncy too. Like, yeah, I could totally see it without a doubt. But simple theme, simple aesthetic theme as well, but a super banger from Absolno. So, with that said, shout out to Absolno, man. Thank you for the submission, homie. Much fucking love. And of course, make sure you follow Absolno on SoundCloud. Make sure you follow Absolno on Twitter at ProdAbsono, per usual. Every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, every episode of the Music Mondays podcast is available on all audio sites, so make sure you show those some love as well. So, let's continue on, chat. Let's do this. Up next, we got the homie Bloodcat, aka Lil Skunky, aka Lil Cat, aka Goat. Let's get it. They submitted a track titled Cigarella, and I really like that track name. I feel like that's like something, I don't know why, like it's like super like simple, but I feel like it's like, I like that a lot. I don't know why, but that's dude, that's just great. Holy shit, that's fucking our staff artist Aster made this art. Shout out to Aster, man. He snapped on this. Look at Bloodcat, bro. This is fucking great. But Cigarella is like, I don't know why I like that name so much. I feel like, to me personally, it's relatable, but like at the same time, it's like, I don't know. It makes me feel some type of way. Reminds me of Cigarello. Yeah, that too. And you're welcome, Bloodcat. But this one's kind of special because this one's produced by Matt Rocks, and lately we've had a lot of bangers here on the show by Matt. So I'm interested to see how the Bloodcat Matt duo comes together here, truly. So, with that said, Bloodcat, Cigarella, let's check this out. I got the sauce and now she brought the pasta. But when she on the back, I go and pasta. She need a real life. Holy shit. You won't catch me dead inside a Tesla. Cause if I die, I'm dying iced out, fresh now. Smoking on that back, she cigarette. I've been blowing racks on drip, me down, I'm bread. You won't catch me dead inside a Tesla. Cause if I die, I'm dying iced out, fresh now.
pass. Watch me get my bag. Cinderella with the glass. Cinderella pack the gas. Watch me hit my pass. Now watch me get my bag. Run up the bag, yeah. Shoot it back, yeah. Look at you mad, yeah. You mad at the tag, yeah. Run up the bag, yeah. Shoot you with a bag, yeah. Look at you mad, yeah. Rats and cats and cats and in real life boss, that's real. Stacking up the green and no rasta, yeah. I got the sauce, I'm saucing now. She brought the pasta, pasta. And she out the back, I go with pasta, pasta. She smoking on that bag, she cigarette. Losing my when I go acapella. You won't catch me dead inside a Tesla. It's like I'm dying nice now, fresh down. When she's smoking on that bag, she cigarella. I've been blowing racks on trip, need that umbrella. And you won't catch me dead inside a Tesla. Cause if I die, I'm dying nice down, fresh down.
Dude. That was fucking great. Okay, so if Cigarella had a sound, like, instrumental-wise, this is such a perfect beat for it. Holy fuck. Matt fucking snapped on this, I'm not gonna lie. Like, these 808s I'm a huge fan of. I'm big on this instrumental here, for sure. I love the Bloodcat duo, 100%. 100%. So, you guys know the drill. We're gonna break this down by 3 topics. We're gonna talk about the instrumental, we're gonna talk about vocals, and we're gonna talk about the overall theme of Cigarella. So, instrumental-wise, not only do I feel like this is, like, a really good, like, sound design for a track named Cigarella, I really feel like Matt is such a talented producer. This is, like, one of those instrumentals that, like, you know, me personally, like I love making tracks like this, and like, when they come out like this, it's like almost peak, right? Because it's like, man, this fucking bangs. But when the 808s dropped, it really all came together for me as to where I was like, damn, like, this is really simple yet, like, so effective. Because I wouldn't say the instrumental alone could have stood, like, maybe, yeah, it probably could have, but, like, you throw an artist like Bloodcat on this, it's, like, perfect, because there's not too much going on, much like the last instrumental we listened to. So, like, you throw some vocals on it, it's, like, perfect, you know what I mean? It's got, like, the perfect amount of, like, balance. But really good, bouncy, simple melodies, definitely easy to get stuck in your head. But the shining star easily for me is the drums. The drums is something that I'm really big on, really big on. The 808 is perfect for me. Everything is mixed to a T. I'd say just perfect, to be honest with you. I have no gripes with this instrumental at all. I'd really say that this is like one of those good examples of, like, less is more, because when you throw an artist, like I said, like Bloodcat on here, it's excellent. So, let's talk about vocals here, because I feel like Bloodcat really skated on this. I feel like this was an instrumental that Bloodcat could have, like, really done a lot with, but, like, in this particular instance, Bloodcat really skated, like, but, like, at the same time kept it consistent, because I feel like who he walked it like a dog. Exactly, Kale, well said. Who was it? Oh, it was Cole. Cole's, like, really good. Cole Gerard, who we have on the show a lot. does a really good job at like blending vocal genres and like really flexing on a track. And this is like almost the same thing as to where Bloodcat comes in and really fucking skates on this. And once again, um, Bloodcat's like writing abilities on the hook really shine here. Really, really fucking shine. But I feel like the performance is like what I'd say is the shining star for me. Probably one of my favorite parts is how this was performed. Um, Probably like it has something to do with like the emotion. Truly, I'd say it's the emotion of it and like the passion, because it's not like sad emotional or anything like that. Because that's not what I mean when I say emotion. When I say emotion, I mean like you can tell there's passion, and like when you perform and record tracks like this, it just comes out so good. And the way Bloodcat was able to like really just hit so many different notes, yet like keep to his Bloodcat core, but also bouncing. Man, the vocals are great. The vocals are fucking great. But like I said, shining star here, um, is definitely not only the variety though, but like I'd have to say the hook, the writing, but more so than the hook, the verses. The verses are like not too like, because like you could have done a lot with the verses. When I think about it, you could have done a lot, but I feel like Bloodcat like kind of kept it consumable and like didn't really try to overdo the song, which I really like. I really like, and like it's not an like a simple track at all, but I feel like it's definitely not overdone, because I feel like some people could have overdone this and made it like super like, yeah, no, I'm glad Bloodcat crafted this in this way. And I feel like the structure here has a lot to do with that as well. I feel like the structure is well done, for sure. For sure. But all in all, other than that, I'd say classic Bloodcat mix. The mix is really well done. Definitely a mix where you get like the most of Bloodcat, because he's hitting like so many different notes and lines and verses, and there's a lot of things in here where it's like you're getting a different side of Bloodcat like almost left and right. And like I feel like this is like a really good showing, to be honest with you. And especially when it's like wrapped up in a hook like this, where, because as we all know, Bloodcat doesn't really have a hard time writing hooks or anything like that, but when you perform it like this, it just, makes it all the better. Now, instrumental, Matt absolutely snapped. Vocals, really show off Bloodcat's best parts in my opinion, because all in all, they're a performer, and I feel like this is one of those like really good performances. Um, let's talk about the theme. Aesthetically, Aster really snapped on this. Simple cover, simple text, but it's got like the a Bloodcat theme. Like the mask is so well done, and like you could spot this from anywhere, and you could be like, "Oh, that's Bloodcat." So like that's perfect. You know what I mean? Like it didn't have to be OD. It really didn't, and it just kind of like, man, like you could even change the background on that and like make that like a series of songs. It's just one of those covers that really really wrap any track up nicely, honestly. So, one other thing I do enjoy about this is the stars and the text and Bloodcat's like name as well. It's always been like that, but the track title here is like personal to Bloodcat, and really like, making the track like your own. And it's just like little small things like this that really like separate you from everybody else, and you're like putting out your tracks, and like I feel like this is something that like makes it your own. And little things like this, like don't sleep on it, man. Don't sleep on those at all. So I like the title a lot. I mean, lyrically, the theme is definitely relatively obvious, which for certain Bloodcat tracks, sometimes they can range, and sometimes it takes a few listens, and sometimes you can really get what you want from it. But this one it is obviously a play on the word cigar and Cinderella, or cigarette and Cinderella, or cigarello and Cinderella. I mean, shit, it could really mean a lot of things, but you guys get the gist of it. And the lyrical content really supports it. And man, you know, sometimes tracks really don't need to match up, but when they do, it's like, okay, like I get why you named it that. And like it could have been like one of those weird tracks where like it's all about smoking weed and shit like that. But this is almost like a super bouncy like alternatives to that. Like Bloodcat really like took the initiative on like not only blending like a couple genres and making it like really bouncy, but made a song about like kicking it and really like almost a stoner anthem without it being like a stoner anthem, which is really sick and something you don't see a lot. So lyrically, I like this a lot, without a doubt. Yeah, man, I'd say Cigarella is one I'm definitely excited for release. I feel like you could do a really dope video for this as well. Um, Man, there's a couple ideas I just thought of. But with that said, shout out to Bloodcat. Thank you for the submission, homie. Thank you. Much love. Make sure you follow Bloodcat on SoundCloud, dropping new tracks all the time. Super hard worker, super good work ethic, man, and don't sleep. Now, of course, make sure you follow a Bloodcat on Twitter at Little Skunky Raps, or make sure you follow a Bloodcat on Instagram at a Bloodcat. Shit. What's Bloodcat's handle? It'll be in the description either way. You guys know the drill. You'll be able to find it there. And of course, everybody featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe. We're approaching 50 subs. Make sure you drop a like. It shows love to the artist, shows love to the channel. And of course, if you fuck with any of these artists, feel free to show them some love, man. Tell them Music Monday sent you, follow them, play their tracks. Up next, we got the homie Tone Deaf Sound, man. Tone Deaf is a really, really dope individual. This will be their first submission, but they did submit past the cutoff time for the show, which is obviously 7:30. So if we have time later on, we'll wrap back to that. Thomas Marcus also submitted Cali again, and if you guys remember Cali, we've already went over this one. So shout out to Thomas Marcus for submitting every week. Probably just forgot that he submitted Cali already. But yeah, I don't know if it was last week, chat, or it was like the week before. One of those times. It was very recently though. Either way, shout out to Thomas Marcus, man. Thank you for the submission on me. Up next, we got the homie Matt Rocks. Matt has been snapping lately. We just got a really good taste of some Matt production. And they submitted a track titled Cody Cobain, the interlude. And once again, the track title is really one of those things where it sticks out and it's fire and it's like something really little that you could always do for any track and you're like, yo, let's fucking get it. So it's just like the little things that make it super personal, to be honest with you. So we're going to pop this open in a new Tabaroonie. We're going to pause it before it plays because we don't want to hear it yet. First impressions of the cover is really, really nice. I like each of the faces in the corners. I feel like that's a nice touch. Super simple, super personal. And if you're a fan of Nirvana, you're totally just gonna be a fan of this one too. So I'm curious as to what this is gonna sound like. Minute 44, we're probably gonna be taking on a ride. So let's check this out. Matt Rocks, Cody Cobain. Let's check this one out. Yup. This is crazy already. What the fuck?
Shawty in my brain, she feel like Novocaine, yeah, and it numb the pain, take it all away, yeah, better days, promise we'll see better days. I'm sipping purple rain, baby, please forgive my mistake. Yeah, I fucked up, but true love, you support me either way. Yeah, there ain't no other way. Yeah, I'm trying to find our escape, but it's my way or the highway. Doing on the highway, I'm living like the highway. Please don't talk to me if we wasn't friends. All up on my space. I was too young for shit, matter of fact, I ain't even had no MySpace. I ain't playing mind games, fuck you in my brain. Yeah, it feels like it's raining every single day. Shawty in my brain, she feel like Novocaine, yeah. And I know the pain, take it all away. Yeah, better days, promise we'll see better days. I'm sipping purple rain, baby, please forgive my mistake. Nowadays I don't even feel the same. I came a long way, damn I really changed. But hey, at least I'm a better person than I was yesterday. And that's because of my bae, and I can never repay her. But every day, yeah, you know that I'm a thing. No thing, no place, nobody can replace. Driving around in my head like she a NASCAR race. That's my wife, yeah, she a diva, yeah, she a thrill chaser. Shawty in my brain, she feel like Novocaine.
This hook is so good.
Take it all away. Yeah, better days, promise we'll see better days. I'm sipping purple rain, baby, please forgive my mistake. Yeah, I fucked up, but true love, you support me either way. Yeah, there ain't no other way. Yeah, I'm trying to find our escape, but it's my way or the highway. Doing on the highway, I'm living like the highway. Yeah, I did it by myself, so what the fuck would I ask for help? Remember, everybody doubted me, now they hit me, say they proud of me. Don't hit my line, don't hit my DMs, don't hit my phone. Where was you when I didn't wanna be here anymore? Hey, where was you when I was off the drugs and all alone? Hey, the world may never know, but please don't say we home. Hey, you my clone. Whoa, it's my son, she's out by the beach. Shawty in my brain, she feel like Novocaine, yeah. And I know the pain, take it all away. Yeah, better days, promise we'll see better days. I'm sipping purple rain, baby, please forgive my mistake.
And I plan to celebrate. I plan to celebrate and scream and pop champagne every chance I get, cause I'm at the Grammys, baby.
Oh shit.
I know everybody asked me the question. They wanted to know what kind. I know he's gonna wild out and he's gonna do something crazy. Everybody wanted to know what I would do if I didn't win.
Huh.
I guess we'll never know.
Facts. Yo, what the fuck? Are you serious? Yo, what? What the fuck? Yo, Tone Dev, what's good, homie? Welcome to the stream, big dog. What the fuck? Yo, this was definitely dope. Matt is so fucking talented. Holy shit. It really is the little shit, man. It really, really is the little shit. Holy fuck. I'm gonna get right into this one. So you guys know the drill. Let's break this down by 3 topics. We're gonna talk about the instrumental. We're gonna talk about vocals. And we're gonna talk about the overall theme of Cody Cobain. So right off rip, man, this is one hell of a beat. It's so like, you don't find a lot of beats like this often that are like this well done. Sometimes there's like little shit about them that are like really weird, but this one is like really like nail on the head with like one of those like perfect emotional instrumentals that like really hit hard, and like, man, like those are the best combinations for me. And of course, like, you see some tags down there, like rage, emo rap, melodic rap. Like this could easily fall into all of those categories, 100%. But the instrumental is like such a blend of a few different types of sounds. But once again, Matt's production here is like really like the definition of less is more, right? Sometimes beats just come out so much better and hit so much harder when you put vocals on them when they're simple. And not every time. Don't because don't get me wrong, not every single beat needs to be like that, but I feel like Matt really flourishes when it comes to producing these kinds of instrumentals. Assuming Matt did produce it, I'm sure he did. But yeah, really, really like a almost like it's definitely a pop vibe, but it's such an alternative pop, man. And like that alternative comes from like a few different types of genres. So I really like the blends here a lot, and mainly it's the melodies and the drums are like relatively simple. But I think sound selection here rules all. Matt definitely killed it on these drums because you didn't need to do too much. Especially if it was like planning to do some crazy shit like this. But let's talk about vocals because this is one hell of almost like a story. Like I feel like this is like one of those songs that you can really envision a music video for almost, right? Like you can picture Matt like truly it's a blueprint for a lot of different visuals, but man, like you could take this to the moon. But first off, I just want to say the mix is great. I've always been a fan of Matt's vocals ever since he's first been on the show. Definitely have no gripes there whatsoever. But I'd say the performance is really, really well done as well. I love the way that this is recorded. Definitely a lot of like almost like swagger. You know what I mean? Like almost like dirt off your shoulder, but like still emotional. And like I fuck with that. Like that's like such an interesting attitude. And it's like such a good dynamic too. Like I feel like a lot of people can be like that. Um it's like one of those like cuz like the lyrics really make me think that. But like it's really one of those like really like lyrically like comes to your head in like such a way, dude. It's crazy. Like it's just such an easy vision for me. And I really feel like a video for this would be such a hit. Really, truly be such a fucking hit. But the shining star vocally for me is the hook. This hook is like wraps it all together. But don't get me wrong, the verses here really fill in the details and really make this like almost a story for me. That's why I feel like it's so like Matt really like lays out a vision here, and that's like pretty easy to understand. Like you could see him all swagged out, sipping, and like bro, like in like any setting, you know what I mean? Pick a setting, city, forest, fucking crib, hotel, bro. Pick any setting, and you take Matt all swagged out, sipping whatever, performing this for a visual, bro. What do you mean? You know what I mean? Like that writes itself, and that literally could be such a fire visual. So the performance here is really what makes me think that, and I love how it's really easy to visualize this track, 100%. And you know, some songs you don't really need to do that. You know, not all tracks are like that. That's not like King, of course, but the ones you can get like a pretty like interesting vision from are the ones that are like, wow, that definitely stood out. So performance here was everything. Hook was great. Verses filled in the gaps, really made it like almost story-like to me, almost like poetry. So yeah, really, really well performed here for sure. Let's talk about the theme. Aesthetically, track title's awesome. The exclamation points, in place of the eyes are really nice. Typical like almost a Matt Rock's theme, right? Because it's even in his name. So like, boom, Cody and Cobain interlude, like. You know what I mean? Like, much like I was saying with Bloodcat, little shit like that brings so much personality to your tracks, and especially if you're like, you know, a brand new artist, an artist trying to gain your support base, spread your music, like, the more personal you can get, the better. So that's why I always advocate for like, you know, simple covers. Like make the track yours, motherfucker. You know what I mean? So I feel like Matt did like a really good job here when it comes to the track title. Now, let's talk about the art. The art, like I said off the rip, is something that definitely sticks with me. Pretty simplistic, but also like keeps in line with the track title. So really, obviously not like the craziest cover, but like a cover that like you can identify this track with, and like really keeps in line, like I said, with the track title. So aesthetically, I like this theme a lot for sure. Now, lyrically, Cody Cobain is like one of those like such like because like I said, it's like an emotional track, right? But it's more so like it's such a bop and it's so bouncy, but like it's got like almost a swag to it because like Matt's not like, and it's mainly the like lyrical content that like makes me think that it's like, you know, like two different sides of Matt in this song, because some of the verses are very like, you know, vivid and like not like super emotional, but you know, the lyrics are there. And then like the hook and like everything like brings it all back in, and it's to where like Matt's almost like reminding himself like, yeah, I'm still a shit, but I'm a little bit of sad. So this is really, really interesting. And I like it for that dynamic a lot. Cause you guys know me, whether you want to think I'm biased or not, I always have like a soft spot for like those more like true to who you are kind of tracks, and like tracks about, you know, you being honest about, you know, emotions, and whether it be love or situations in life or, you know, yourself or anything like that. So Cody Cobain is like one of those tracks where you could be emotional, but it's also like a very bouncy, upbeat kind of track, which is like two of my favorite dynamics. The album this track is on, the whole thing is worth listening to, like in order. Oh fuck no, I never shuffle albums, but I will definitely listen to this shit. What the fuck? Absolutely. Good shout, Bloodcat. Let's get it. But yeah, man, instrumental was great. Vocals were really well performed. I like how easy it was to vision like everything here. Very poetic. And aesthetically, lyrically, and just all theme wise, a really good like blueprint Matt Rocks track, in my opinion. So with that said, shout out to Matt. Thank you for the submission, homie. Much, much, much fucking love. Make sure you follow Matt on SoundCloud at Matt Rocks. Make sure you follow Matt on Twitter at Matt Rocks. Per usual, every artist featured in today's episode, in every episode, will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe. We're approaching 50 subs. We upload literally like 3 times a week. And of course, check out the artists linked in every video's description, man. Show them some love. Tell them Music Monday sent you. And run them up. So, let's continue on, chat. Tonight has been insane. You know, because for those of you who don't know, of course, every week after the show, I pick top 3 artists of the episode in any order. Not like, you know, 1, 2, 3, just, you know, the top 3. It's going to be hard. I have a feeling it's going to be very hard. So we're good there. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 submissions left. I love Mark's submission down here too. He said, people have asked, I must listen. New link, that one didn't work. Dude, I read that. That was fucking funny. Okay, so you guys know the drill. I chug coffee like every fucking stream. So I am going to head to the bathroom. I'll leave you guys with some wonderful background music. Give me about 3 minutes, and we'll get right back on track. Tonight's show has been great. Shout out to everybody who's tuning in, showing love, man. I'll be back in 3 minutes. 3 minutes. How's everybody doing? I hope everybody's well. What's poppin'? Man pissed the whole river. 3 minutes. 3 minutes worth. Kale. Hefty. This guy is too funny. Okay. Matt Rocks is good, so we just got done with him. Up next. OFN Bad. I'm not sure. Bad boy. Okay, yeah. This might be. I don't know. I don't think we've reviewed anything from them before, but they like a track titled Prince Lovely. And it's featuring Bad Boy. Oh, alright. So Bad Boy is a feature. I see. Okay. So this is definitely a first time submitting artist. So we definitely have had nothing from Bad Boy. So we're about to get some first impressions here. Let's open this in a new tab. Rooney. Interesting. Let's see what this is about to entail. April 24th, 2022. So relatively new. Definitely relatively new. Badforboy.net, Twitter, Instagram, Spotify. 197 subs. Someone said, want to be like Yeet so bad. What the fuck? Yo. Oh my god. I hear similarities. It's still fire though, not gonna lie. Holy shit. Okay. So, first impressions, interesting. Overall, the comments are relatively positive though. So, Prince Lovely, Hallelujah, featuring Bad Boy. Well, let's check this out. It's very Yeet instrumental, isn't it?
Don't worry about the ops, get on me and get the ice. I always been the heist in the room, heist in the room. Now it's finna make a movie, hallelujah, yeah, hallelujah, yeah, hallelujah, yeah, hallelujah, yeah. They wanna take vacation, can't stop, feel like I'm racing. Hey, shot feel like ace. Can't none of y'all take my place. Can't none of y'all tell my race. I just been in space. Who'd you expect to taste? Fuck, I know y'all want that bait. And I'll be figure eight. Now these niggas gon' hate. I know about some hate. I'm outside, I live for danger. My artist, I'm finna paint. It's spray, I got pain behind this end. I told you my advice. Don't look me in my eyes. They got you traumatized. You know this sounding nice. You want my advice, get me, get the ice. Don't worry about the ops, get on me and get the ice.
Why the hell you on my line? 20 shots, but I let off 9. Fast car and the bitch go vroom. Speak down and the gun go boom. Niggas weird, worry about my move. He want bitches, I fuck, that's weird. Niggas mad cause it's really my year. Ain't a man on the planet I fear. Niggas mad, I'm a ball in their face. Free my dog, he's still fighting the case. Pray to God I don't lose to the streets. Got some demons finna go underneath. Can't trust these hoes for the streets. Broke as fuck, asking me for some cheese. Shut the fuck, bitch, get on your knees. Nigga play, then the nigga don't bleed. And you fuck niggas already know. Bitch, you know I'm next to blow. Bitch, you know it's my time to go. Bitch, you know that I'm on the dope. Gotta get it, you know I'm no punk. Nigga play, then I hit with the pump. And you know my niggas, they tough. Nigga play cause these niggas just bluff.
I told you my advice, don't let me in my eyes. They got you traumatized. You know this sounding nice. If you want my advice, bias. If need, get the highest. Don't worry about the odds. Get like me and get the highest.
Interesting. Interesting. Bad Boy definitely killed it. That's for sure. Let's hop right into this one. You guys know the drill. We're gonna break this down by 3 categories. And we're gonna talk about the instrumental. We're gonna talk about vocals, and we're gonna talk about the overall theme of this track. So, I kind of understand that comment. Like, just off of the instrumental alone, it definitely sounds like a Yeet type beat. Not that Yeet is like notorious for that sound, but that sound is very popular at the moment. So like, I could see the comparison for sure. And as you guys all know, all constructive criticism here, Music Mondays isn't meant to tear down any artist whatsoever. The instrumental was solid though. Everything sounded really, really well mixed. For what it was definitely well done. Definitely well done for sure. And you know, I think the most efficient thing there was the mix, especially when it comes to 2 artists who are doing I don't want to say vastly different verses, but they are different. So the mix on this instrumental was very flexible. And I feel like it fit nicely. It definitely fit nicely. Both of these artists were very comfortable on this for sure. So instrumental choice, definitely solid. They knew what they wanted. That's for sure. Let's talk about vocals. Prince Lovely. I don't, you know, for one, the mix was good. I like Prince's mix for sure. The mix sounds good. Not too loud, not too overbearing or anything like that. Not drowning. Now, I think it's the way that the hook is performed. I almost feel like it's like too, like, quote unquote, like lazy hookish, because like, you know, sometimes artists will just like really kill it with like almost like the lazy vocal performance and like laid back, almost monotone. But I feel like Prince was a little OD on it. Almost not to the point that it was like a detriment to the song or anything like that, but it was definitely like it could have been done better for sure, but it definitely didn't take away anything from the track nonetheless. And like I said, I think Prince's mix was good for sure. Now, the artist in question, Bad Boy, who is our first time submitting artist here, absolutely spat all over this fucking track. I feel like Bad Boy completely fucking snapped on this. And I feel like the one redeeming thing that Prince had was the fact that Bad Boy came in and really gave it like a different type of vibe. Cause I don't know, you know, Prince could have done a lot on this, but I feel like the addition of Bad Boy really gave it some variety, right? And really like put some salt and pepper on this track and really kind of like, okay, like this dude Bad Boy came in and really talked that talk. So it was like, it was a nice variety, because you guys know, like, my one sort of gripe is features that don't really bring anything to the track, and Bad Boy really brought something different to this track. And that's what's good, right? You get a feature on your track, you want them to bring a different element and really like do what they do as an artist. And I feel like Bad Boy really brought his element to this track. Now, a Bad Boy's mix was really good. A very raw, simple mix, not too overdone or anything like that. Performance was really nice. Recording was nice. Lyrically, I feel like Bad Boy really, like, I wouldn't say, like, took their time, but, like, definitely did a good job writing, for sure. Whether it took, you know, a couple weeks, couple days, doesn't matter. Writing was, pretty top tier on this. But it was more so the performance that really wrapped it all together for his verse for me. So the performance is probably the shining star for sure. Let's talk about the theme. This cover is really, really well done. Really, really well done. Aesthetically, I love the color palette here. I love the choice of cover, and the text is really dope. The text is really, really dope. Lyrically, not a theme that really jumps out at you, right? But a theme that's pretty like you could really perceive this in a couple different ways, in which that's fine, you know what I mean? Not every song has to have a super standout theme or anything like that, but I do feel like Prince and Bad Boy really did their things on it. For sure. This was almost like a show of talent, if anything, 100%. I think Bad Boy really, really spat on this. So aesthetically, I'd say the cover is really, really a good talking point, and it's definitely something that makes you want to dive into this track, 100%. So, with that said, shout out to Bad Boy. Thank you for the submission, homie. Much fucking love. You snapped. First time submitting artist. Make sure you send him some love, man. Of course, make sure you follow Bad Boy on Twitter. OFN Bad. Per usual, every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTuber upload. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe. We're approaching 50 subs. Drop a like, show support to the artists, show support to our videos, and of course, every artist featured in every episode linked in the description. So that was interesting, man. First time submitting artist, Bad Boy, totally snapped on his verse, 100%, without a doubt. Now, Nomad Fox Music is our next submission. I believe we featured Nomad a long time ago. I want to say maybe last year. If not, it was very early this year. But I do remember featuring Nomad on the show, 100%. But it has been a while. So they submitted a track titled Lighthouse. So let's check this out. We do have a SoundCloud link. So of course, pop this open in Tabaroonie. Boom. 7 days ago, so relatively new. And we got lyrics in the description. So we can get a vibe from this for sure. These vocal layers are dope. So good, tough. Yeah. Lots of, like, solid response here on this. For sure. Okay. Nomad Fox, Lighthouse. Let's dive into this.
Yeah. Better days. They away. Yeah. Bet you in the snow. Yeah. In the blues. Sun falling. We went all in. We the light now. And you the lighthouse. And I'm the flame. I'ma never stop raising. Never giving up. Yeah, we gotta run it up. It's not a lot of love. Me and Shorty on the run. Heart was on frost. You loved when I was lost. Your boy just got the sauce. Out that day in the fight. You know we get it high. Know we get it high. Yeah. Know we get it. Know we get it. Know we get it. Know we get it live. You know that I've arrived. Gotta take what's mine. You know how to shine. Never lights out. I've been on my own. Can't let it die down. We let it ride out. Bushy mind now. We can slow down. Time to slide out. We like some night out. Outside. On fire. I'm still trying. Never giving up. Yeah, we gotta run it up. It's not a lot of love. Me and Shorty on the run. Heart was on frost. You loved when I was lost. Your boy just got the sauce. Out that day in the pot. You know we get it high. Know we get it high. Yeah. Know we get it. Know we get it. Know we get it.
Wow. That was impressive. That was very, very impressive. Holy shit. Wow. Interesting. Okay, yeah, I'm thoroughly impressed. Holy shit. So let's dive right into this one, man. You guys know the drill. We're break down by 3 categories. We're gonna talk about the instrumental. We're gonna talk about vocals. We're gonna talk about the overall theme of Lighthouse. So, instrumental right off bat has a real good roller coaster vibe, because it's like got this such a peaceful guitar, and the beat is so cinematic and wide, and it's just I feel like Nomad really fucking took this one home and said, nah, I'll show you how to fucking do this shit. So this instrumental choice could have been kind of tough for a few artists to do it and perform a track like this in the way that Nomad did. It's pretty difficult to be able to take an instrumental like this and really make it your own like Nomad did. So I love the instrumental choice here. Kind of almost a rare instrumental. Couple different genre vibes, but all in all, I really like the mix. Nice and wide. Plenty of room for Nomad, and truly just one of those instrumentals and beats that really it's got this roller coaster vibe. Like I said, it starts off kind of slow and it just fucking slaps you in the face, and then boom, and it ends off slow, and it's like, damn, that shit's wrapped in a nice little bow now, isn't it? So great instrumental choice nonetheless. Vocals. Nomad sounds insane on this. I love the mix. Not a too overdone mix. Nothing's too soft or loud or anything like that. But the raw engineering on this is so nice. It's so nice. It's still very much a mix, but it doesn't take away from Nomad's true talent, right? Because I feel like Nomad's a really good vocalist just based off this one track here. Because there's a lot of ups and downs. So yeah, man, I really enjoy this mix a lot. This mix definitely hit for me. Now, lyrically, I really love the poetry, almost like Matt Rock's kind of vibe, where it was really easy to envision this track. Mostly due to the fact that not so much the lyrics, but the way that the lyrics were performed by Nomad. I feel like Nomad's a very confident kind of I don't want to say passionate, but definitely confident kind of artist. And just in terms of performance, right? I really feel like this was performed in a way where it made it really easy for you to visualize shit. Truly. And looking at the lyrics before I started, this was kind of interesting. A lot of bouncing around here lyrically. And a lot of sort of, this is almost one of those tracks where there isn't a standout theme, right? But we'll talk about that. But to wrap up the mix, man, truly, I'd say the mix itself and the performance, along with the vocals, were something that were really, really put it over the top for me, truly. Because, like I said, it's been a while since we've heard from Nomad. It's been really if anything, it's the start of the year or sometime last year, truly. So this is a real shocker, man. This is almost a first time impression. So I'm impressed, 100%. But like I was saying with lyrics, this is definitely one where Nomad didn't sleep on the writing whatsoever. Um, because sometimes artists, feel like writing what they write, but this is one that's like really well crafted in terms of writing. Now, let's talk about the theme here because this is something that's really like boggling my mind. Lyrically, it's a bit in and out. It's a bit in and out, and I feel like the hook definitely keeps it all together. If you're going to get any sort of lyric theme from this and vibe, but all in all, it's still one of those like well performed tracks that like you could get any sort of like perception from, right? And like you could relate to it at like different periods in your life. Like this is definitely one of those tracks where like you could relate to it at like certain time periods of your life, whether you're going through, you know, X, Y, or Z situation. Um, it's not necessarily a super happy song, and it's not necessarily a super emotional song either. It's a very like, because like he even says it like the highway and like there's like this lighthouse vision, like there's a couple of like really good like vision cues for me that like make this a very like good late night cruise track for sure, but it's not like mellow or anything like that. It's got a lot of like, it's got a lot of groove to it for sure. So overall, lyrically, I'd say the theme is really like something that's like really, really awesome. Really, really awesome. Because you could get a lot of things from that for sure. Also, it's fucking thundering crazy. Holy fuck. Um, Now aesthetically, this cover is like so well done, so well done. I really would go as far as saying like this is like one of the better simple covers I've ever seen, and it very well could have been like just the fucking lighthouse, right? Or it very well could have been something even more simple. But I feel like this is a very like you could associate this cover with Nomad for sure, without a doubt. So shout out to whoever made that cover, man. Definitely very on point with not only the track title but the lyrics as well. Like looking at that cover, you can definitely feel and envision these lyrics a slight bit more. And if your cover does that, all the better. 100% all the better. So, with that said, shout out to Nomad Fox, man. That was a pleasure to dive into, man. 7 days ago, so make sure you go show some love, man. If you like Lighthouse, go run this up. Make sure you follow Nomad Fox on SoundCloud. Approaching 400 followers. Go show him some love, man. And of course, follow Nomad Fox Music on Twitter at Nomad Fox Music. Every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe. And if you already have, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, up next, we got the homie Kale. Now, Kale came through, dropped a super sub bomb, consistently submitting every week, put out a great project in Perception, and now they submitted a very, very rare, very cool kind of track. And Kale's caption is a first track I ever made with an artist. And he put, shout out Official Dead God. And this is actually a music video. So this will be really, really dope to dive into. Because, man, like, your first track with an artist, right? Like as a producer is really something that's like, it's so important. It's so like, you'll always remember it. So the fact that it's got a music video and it has 18K, shout out to Void Tracks, holy shit. Wow. 2017. Produced by Kale. Edited by Young Gucci. Wow. All beats and instrumentals I post are strictly for promotion, not for use. Love that. This shit fire. Dope intro. Wow. Kyle Carson, link to the producer's SoundCloud. Yo, Kyle Carson, 4 years ago. Look at this fucking... Wow. Wow. The reception is so, like... It's just super positive. Holy shit. Okay, let's dive into this. So, submitted by Kale, who produced the track Dead God, The Sabbath. Official music video. Let's get into this. So, of course, we're in fucking 720 that bitch. Full screen this. Let's check this out.
Life's greatest questions have always been, who am I? Where did I come from? Why am I here? Where am I going? You are about to see and hear one of the most significant messages given to us from God.
Fuck you, little cloud, bitch. I'ma take you out, bitch. I'ma take you down. Fuck your 40, fuck your rounds. You don't really want the sight. I leveled up, I'll take your life. Say, I don't give a fuck. All I wanna do is die. Fumigated, cause I'm toxic. All these humans make me vomit. See me smoking on my weed. Robbing Harlan, sing Sonic. If he wants a fucking problem, I might knock him, take his wallet. I don't wanna see shit. I tear my eyes up out my sockets. I'ma swing, I don't plot. I've been dead, yet I don't rot. I'ma see you when I see you. Don't you run, I'll leave you lost. Heart so cold, I felt the frost. When I arise, I kill the crops. I sold my soul to fucking Satan just so I could live.
Wow. What the fuck? Holy shit. Wow. 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 What? What? Holy shit. Holy fuck. Yo. This motherfucker went so fucking hard for this. Holy shit. Okay. Okay. So, we're gonna dive right the fuck into this one. And it's actually crazy because that shit just hit 18K too. 46. So, we're gonna talk about four things. We're gonna talk about the instrumental. We're gonna talk about vocals. We're gonna talk about the overall theme. and we're gonna talk about the visual. So, man, right off the rip, this instrumental's fucking great. Really, really fucking great. Mix is well done. Especially with some of these heavier kinds of instrumentals. You got to be gentle with it, and especially for them to like hit just right. And you want an artist to get on it. So I really think the mix is like such a like slept on part of this. A really, really good mix. Hits nice and hard, nice and wide. So the mix on the instrumental itself is awesome. Now, I think the shining star in terms of the instrumental for me is the structure, because Dead was able to just fucking go in on this. And the structure wasn't like, it wasn't too crazy. It was more so like perfect, right? Because there's a little bit of variety, and then like especially like that last half where it was just like super, super fucking heavy vocals. I feel like the instrumental like almost was still going toe to toe with Dead. So this instrumental is like really, really top tier, especially for 2017, right? Like Kale's been at this for fucking shit long time, and like not like a crazy long time or anything like that, but that's awesome that Kale has been like literally fucking like putting out bangers like this, and this is like the very first one of him being able to like, hey, like, here's this fucking track, like I produced this shit. What a feeling to have this be your first track, truly. So that's fucking cool. That is fucking dope. So instrumental solid. Really cool insight on the early days of Kale. Earlier I should say. Mix was solid. And overall really well done, to be honest. Structure's a big shining star for me. Vocals here. Vocals are so well performed. I think Dead did a really, really good job performing these. Really makes you feel it, especially in terms of like heavy vocals. It's been a minute since I've seen an artist that like has really went toe to toe with some of the heavier artists that we've seen here on Music Mondays, but Dead definitely like is up there for me now for some of the best heavier vocals we've had here on Music Mondays, for sure. And of course, it just so happens to be produced by Kale. So the mix, with that said, is excellent. Really, really excellent. And I feel like vocally, there's a really good split between like heavy vocals versus, and then like the end where it just fucking heats up. Like literally, Kale said, "Buckle up, bro," and he wasn't lying. Like this is definitely one of those tracks where you're like, "Holy shit!" And there's a lot of like good variety too. Like the whole thing isn't heavy vocals, and the whole thing isn't like kind of going in and out. Like there's like three main types of vocals here, and the end really like wraps it all together 100%. And almost makes it consistent too, and that's partially due to structure as well. Structure's great. Now, the writing, relatively simple, but super dark writing nonetheless. Very, very dark writing. Um, but it's still like got almost punchlines, and like it's not all super dark phrases and lines and lyrics. Like it's got like punchlines mixed in with like dark, like almost dark vibes, and it's really sick because you don't see a lot of artists like do shit like this anymore, as to where like they're really mixing it up with like a couple genres like these that are like so far apart, right? Like super heavy vocals, but like the way that you're doing your verses is like it really makes or breaks the track sometimes, and I feel like Dead really snapped on here. um Shining star for me has got to be the verses. I like how simple the writing is, yet effective. Lots of like decent punchlines here. Lots of like good performances. Like I'd like to see Dead submit a track just because I'm curious as to what their current music is like. But this was a really, really great first impression. Vocally, this was awesome. And of course, the closing and like the outro of this was really dope. Really, really fucking dope. And like I said, a nice touch, right? Because it's not like a crazy variety of vocals, but like the verses and hook is great, but like the closer's like just what the fuck. Now, the overall theme of this track, obviously aesthetic, we are going to talk about the visual. But lyrically this theme is definitely super dark, but like I said, the lyrics kind of kept it at like a good balance as to where like there were still some punchlines in there, and like overall like it wasn't like super saturated with heavy vocals. It was like the right amount, and then the end really topped it all off with like really really fucking like Dead definitely made you feel that shit. Without a doubt made you feel that shit. Now, let's talk about this visual here. This visual is like such like it's such a classic for me in terms of like what an underground visual is, right? Because one of the like the nicest touches here that I noticed was like the use of berserk footage like throughout the video, and like when people blend like two different types of media, like there's definitely like a few different shots here, and then like the editor, hold on, let me put down my water. Yeah, Yo Gucci, like I feel like they went fucking crazy, like really really crazy. um like it's the two forms of media, right? And then it's like all put together with like these filters that are so classic underground that it like almost is like a time capsule, because it's like, man, this is only 2017, but like it's so rare to find this type of shit these days, and I wish more artists would like go out and film visuals like this. And those of you that do, huge shout out to you, because it adds so much to your music. It's great. Um but aesthetically, this is like such a time capsule, right? Because obviously 2017, a lot of shit was different. Um, like aesthetically, what people were into, things that other people are into, things that other people like, you know. You also have to take that into consideration when looking into a track like this. But with that said, I feel like it's so cool to like remember what it was like even like a couple years ago, and like the shit that was in some visuals is just so sick. So fucking sick. And this is one of those tracks where like this visual here really really puts this song in perspective. And one thing I really noticed here was Dead was like very um not uncomfortable around the camera, very comfortable, very chill, like, and like the variety of shots were great, and like the addition of Berserk, like I said, was really dope. Just that classic 2017 kind of underground feel, like really really was. um and like it's got these filters that are so grimy, like perfectly grimy for the track, without a doubt. Yeah, like some of these filters are just so like classic underground, like independent, like very like DIY, and like the fact that it's hosted here on Void, and it's fucking garnered 18K and produced by Kale, and this is Kale's first track. Bro, what the fuck? What the fuck is that? Holy shit. I'm really impressed. This is like such a hot start as a producer. Like you could see how Kale developed like such a consistent like work ethic, because this is just awesome. This is just like so dope to see. And then Kale's just been putting out fucking beats, placements, more projects, perception, like, and like some of the like earlier tracks that we've heard from Kale, because we've heard other early tracks, but not the very first track they've ever produced. And it's just like, man, Kale is a talented ass motherfucker, dude. And like, if this was like your first impression of Kale, you would assume he's like more of a heavier producer, but Kale can make a lot of variety of sounds. But early on, to make a heavy instrumental like this and have it be accompanied by an artist and a visual like this, definitely top tier. Definitely top tier for sure. I fuck with this a lot. Wow. That was great, man. That was great. And shout out to Gucci, man, because this is like really well edited. Really well edited. Not like, you know, doing your own editing is fine too. And then sometimes other people are like, yo, let me edit that shit. And this one came out awesome. This one came out really awesome. And not too much more you could ask for, right? Like, you have a good variety of shots. And like, even as like the song goes on, like the visual almost gets more intense as well. And then like his team's website at the end, and like the "you should have died," like, bro, if you've seen Berserk, you know how dope that is. Like you really know how dope that shit is. So I'm impressed, man. That's awesome. That's really fucking awesome. This is a dope insight on Kale, man. Um, Kale has been putting on his homies, putting on his instrumentals. We've reviewed quite a bit of Perception. Kale recently featured on Curing Case of the Mondays, and now we've officially featured Kale's very first produced track that actually has a visual with 18K. That's awesome, man. That's actually really awesome. Kale, keep doing your thing, homie. Your sort of like attitude with how you carry yourself as a producer is really what's going to bring you far, because you're treating yourself as a producer like they should, which is as an artist, and also still like creating more connections for placements, working with new artists, like making like really like just music, like you said, that is timeless. And I think that's something that's like really spoken to here, because this is from 2017. So like it definitely like is timeless without a doubt. So with that said, man, Kale, keep doing your thing. Don't let nobody tell you shit. Keep working with fire artists. Keep making instrumentals and keep treating yourself like a fucking an artist, because that's what you are. For sure. And of course, with that said, shout out to Kale. Thank you for the submission, homie. Make sure you follow Kale on Twitter. And per usual, every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe. We're approaching 50 subs. If you're already subbed, thank you. You are the best. And of course, check out these artists. Show them some love. Tell them Music Monday sent you. Thank you, Zom. You're very welcome, my friend. You're very welcome. Kale only double feature on the album too. Facts, bro. Kale's a fucking worker, bro. I love that. Kale's a fucking worker. He's getting right to business, bro. This man's like, all right, word, I'm gonna work with an artist. All right, word, I'm gonna get an instrumental on there too. Like, fuck, let's go. Like, that's the type of shit that, like, you know, puts you above everybody else, you know? Really does. Really does. Especially as a producer, though. Especially as a producer. For sure. So shout out to Kale, shout out Dead God as well, man. That was awesome. That was really great. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 submissions left. So up next we got the homie Rubes. Rubes is an instrumentalist who performs loops, plays instruments, is really sort of like a has a more of like a raw style of instrumentals. And if you've been here, we've literally reviewed everything from live drum covers live instruments, raw instruments. Music Mondays takes all of those, and Rubes is a super, super talented instrumentalist. Super talented. So, with that said, I assume we have another loop or track from the homie Rubes. So let's get into this. Let's see what we got here. Let's check this out. 59 seconds of greatness. You guys ready for this? 3, 2, 1, let's go. This is heat. What the fuck? The fuck? Okay. What the fuck? Okay, I'm not sure if it was last week or the week before, but Rubes had a loop somewhat similar to this, and it's just like, man, like, I'm such a fan of acoustic shit. It's crazy, dude. And like, my bias might be kicking in here, but fuck, dude, this is such a good loop. It's so like comfy and peaceful, and then like you could even like add like some insane fucking drums to this. And like every time Rubes submits a loop to us, I always picture him like sitting in the fucking forest somewhere on like a cut tree stump, just fucking jamming, and then like putting like his like phone or like microphone like on top of the fucking tree stump, and then he's just fucking jamming. Oh my god. So obviously we're not going to break this down by categories. I will say though, this is one of the better loops that we have ever gotten from Rubes, for sure. It's just one of those things that's just like such a cool insight to have here on Music Mondays, and really like remind people that other instrumentalists are readily available. Instrumentalists are always like putting in work, and like Rubes is an artist that I've spoke to that really just creates music because they love music. Like, it's not for any goal or anything like that. Rubes just really likes to create music, and now that he's been recording, it's really dope. It's really dope to see, and it's something that I think it's a pretty rare insight for a lot of people, because not a lot of people like are like unknown and very like unheard of that do this shit, because everybody else is always like a very like, you know, the people that play instruments sometimes don't like to show it off, or they don't, you know, necessarily have the place to do it or the spotlight to do it. And Rubes is one of those people where super talented, and we get to showcase them here live in the show. And this is one of those loops that I really enjoyed personally. Um, Super peaceful, very like it's not it almost has like a folk vibe, but like, man, like this could turn in like such a crazy instrumental so fast, so fucking fast. So this was awesome. This was awesome. So truly 59 seconds of greatness. I need to put some drums behind this shit. But with that said, man, shout out to Rubes. Thank you for the submission, homie. Much fucking love. This is a really great insight on, you know, what instrumentalists are up to, and like, you know, instrumentalists that don't really like aren't really like super involved in the scene. So always really dope to see. Very dope. And of course, with that said, every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. Make sure you follow Rubes. And of course, Rubes will be in the description as well. And if you're watching on YouTube, Make sure you subscribe. We're approaching 50 subs. Make sure you show everybody some love. And yeah, man, let's get right back into this because we have some interesting things up next. But funny enough, our submissions got kind of flipped around this time. That's interesting. So that's like the first time that's ever happened as to where like we've like either tabbed out or anything like that. And the submissions actually flipped around, but we're good. We're back down here. We've hit everybody up till the homie Offspring Mysterious. And what's good, Offspring? I'm sorry, I didn't even say hi to you. Welcome to the stream, my friend. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This week, Offspring Mysterious submitted a short visual titled Answering Nature's Calling. And if you don't know who Offspring Mysterious is, producer, visualist, designer, editor, filmmaker, probably one of the hardest working people that submits to Music Mondays. Offspring is really like one of the like coolest parts of our show and really like I hope encourages people to like bring their content here to the show as well. Because one of the first things Offspring's ever submitted to us at Music Mondays was their website and I knew that all of their work was like so deep and vast and very like everything from the writing, the instrumentals, the designs, and now these short films that Offspring has introduced to us. They're like almost pieces of his own media and like almost like more of a background to like not only his music but their overall art. You know what I mean? So these are the type of artists that we love to have here on Music Mondays. And if you're a multi-talented artist, a jack of all arts, if you will, feel free to submit to us, man, because Offspring has really changed the game here, for sure. So this week, like I said, they submitted a short film titled Answering Nature's Calling, which is only 1 minute. And someone said, this fucking epic. And song Nature's Calling. So we got an Offspring produced visual here. And SoundCloud, Twitter, Instagram, my interview, website. Love that. Okay, so let's dive right into this. What are we gonna get in 1 minute? Because like usually we get like 30 minutes of Offspring and we're just kicking it. So I'm kind of intrigued on what this is about to look like. And I think it was not too long ago, probably one of their earlier submissions. It was in this very same like location, and it was some of the funniest shit. So let's get into this. Answering Nature's Calling, Offspring Mysterious. Pants are fresh. What the fuck? What? He's getting it. He's getting it. What the fuck? No way. He hit that shit. He fucking hit that shit. Yo. We're watching that twice. We're watching that twice. Look, Offspring, get this shit. The stits. The this is awesome. What the fuck? My boy at the mall with it? Facts. Offspring's pull it up, bro. Let's go, baby. Yo. This is actually so awesome. What the fuck? Yo, okay, so we gotta break this down. My boy at the mall with it? Yo, dude. Okay, so obviously no vocals. So we're gonna talk about two things here. We're gonna talk about the instrumental, and we're gonna talk about the visual. So fuck me, this instrumental is great. Like if there was any Offspring instrumental that we've heard to moonwalk to, this is definitely one of them, bro. This is one of them. And actually, now I think about it, I've been saying this for like the last like 3 weeks, where I was just like, yo, Offspring has to fucking, you know, get on TikTok or this or this or this, right? I really feel like this is one of those videos that could totally fucking do some numbers on TikTok and like spread the Offspring word. Like literally, this is so funny. I had a smile on my face the whole fucking time. But let's talk about Answering Nature's Calling, which is also the track name here. Offspring's production is some of the most unique and original that I have ever like heard as of lately. Offspring's a very like very genre blending producer when it comes to not only drums but melodies. Some of the melodies are very, very unique, and like some of the drums are like so well done. Like the sound selection and like for how unique it is so on point. So fucking on point. And even though we only get a minute of Answering Nature's Calling, with that said, I feel like definitely Offspring hit the nail on the head. Definitely. As far as like really making it sound like their own type of sound, if you will, right? Like, because all of Offspring's instrumentals have like this like particular kind of like particular sound, and like they're always very like sometimes fast paced, but sometimes they can be very like somber, and sometimes they can be very emotional, but they're all very like almost cinematic in a way, and very like just perfect for visuals like this, like truly, because this was not only comedy, but like the like small edits in here like are great, because like the instrumental is such like a bouncy kind of instrumental, so it left some room for some fun. But fuck, let's talk about the visual here. Relatively simple, right? One location, but Answering Nature's Calling is just something that's so funny, because he hits the stance and then hits the meanest fucking moonwalk we've ever seen here on Music Mondays. I don't think we'll see a better moonwalk than this here on Music Mondays, unless somebody wants to contest that. But fuck me, this was awesome. This was such like a simple yet unique fucking concept, and it truly is like some of the more like not only comedic sides of Offspring, but really like what Offspring can do is in terms of like ideas and like edits and like visuals that they could do with not only their music, but like a lot of things that they create, you know, whether it be art or anything like that. Like Offspring really brings it all together, and like it all comes together so well. Like this video would not be as good if it was any type of other instrumental, for sure. But the fact that it was like so upbeat and fast paced and like very like it was dope. It was dope. Very dope. And then of course, Answering Nature's Calling, and he's literally outside the plants. Like you probably couldn't have picked a better spot. So he's truly answering Nature's calling. But the shining star here for me is definitely the visual and the edits. The edits are really, really cool. And like it's just like a minute, but like you have so much little variety in a minute, and it made it like hilarious and enjoyable to watch. Like, I truly feel like people, if they were to discover this, Offspring would totally, like, just fucking become so notorious for this. So definitely never stop doing these visuals. Never, never, never. I fuck with these a lot. So instrumental was great. Visual was perfect. Edits were perfect. And all in all, even back then in 2021, Offspring was never like shot on camera or anything like that. Offspring was very confident and very like, I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? He's literally getting it on camera, bro. Literally getting it on camera. Like, so funny. When you get a call from nature, this is how you answer, and you just fucking, you start hitting that shit. This man hit the meanest split. Bro, I would break my fucking groin if that ever happened, bro. Holy shit. Oh my god, my shit would, ow. It fucking hurts thinking about, bro. So shout out to Offspring for the submission, homie. Much fucking love. This was a really dope insight on Offspring last year, and I hope you continue this trend of like short visuals along with walking on slots as well, for sure. And of course, make sure you follow Offspring on all platforms. Make sure you go show Offspring some love. Follow him on YouTube. Go drop him a sub. 3 subs away from the big old 90, man. Go show Offspring some love. And of course, make sure you follow Offspring on Twitter. Approaching 950, man. Get this motherfucker to 950. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And per usual, if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe. We're approaching 50 subs. And drop a like if you haven't already. Really supports the video, supports the artists. And of course, show these artists some love. Tell them music when they sent you. And follow them if you enjoy what they're doing, man. I got a moonwalking video idea I want to work on. Oh shit. Appreciate the love, Zom. Let's go, Offspring. Let's fucking go. And you're very welcome. You're very welcome. Thank you for the submission, homie. Thank you for the submission. That was a great insight. And you kept it simple and it was very effective. Very effective. And it was like a really like good insight on your production as well, which was awesome. So 1, 2, 3, 4 submissions left, and up next we got the homie Lord Heretic. Now, as you heard me mention at the start of the show, Heretic was probably one of my best interviews in a while. It's live on allmusicmondays.com. And Heretic's just one hell of an artist, man. An artist with a lot of history, a lot of talent, known for a lot of heavy vocals, but can definitely do a large variety of music, man. So this week, Heretic submitted a track titled Baby Girl, and he said, made this song for my ex once upon a time. And it's Prod 2K6. So this will be interesting. I'm kind of curious, cause like if you watch the show every week and you're here live with me, you'll know that Heretic like tends to like have not always a heavy vibe, but I'm curious as to what a song titled Baby Girl would sound from Heretic. So Michael said, still love this. Shout out Michael, dude. This is so fucking cool. Yo, everybody fucking with this, bro. Let's check this out. Baby Girl by Lord Heretic featuring Dread. Oh, shit.
2K6.
Even the best time. Maybe all of this was just a waste of time. Foolish in nature, but let's just try. I will follow you until the moon collapses upon us. I will follow you until the moon collapses upon us.
What the fuck? That was like, what? This is too heat. I agree. What? Bro, and this is only like a year ago too. This is not some like ancient heretic. You know what I mean? Like, that's why this is kind of like, whoa. This one kind of gave me a step back here. What the fuck? This one's kind of heat. Okay. All right. So, let's dive right into this one. We're going to talk about three things. We're going to talk about the instrumental. We're talking about vocals. And we're going to talk about the overall theme of Baby Girl. So, wow. This threw me for a loop. I love a lot of things about this, but 2K6 definitely fucking snapped on this. My favorite type of instrumentals to make, and I think 2K definitely did his fucking shit on this for sure, for sure. Basically hits the emotion right on the head. Especially like as a creator, like if you're wanting to like get some like words off or thoughts out, or like make like a more emotional kind of track, like these types of beats always fucking hit. Like, so this instrumental was great. Melody here, perfect. Very well done. Drums are great too, not like super overdone or anything like that, because especially with these kinds of instrumentals, you definitely don't want to overdo your drums, and I think 2K did a really good job at that. But all in all, I'd say the mix wraps everything up and really keeps it whole. Makes for a really good like not too soft of an acoustic track, because there's still some decent drums on here, but it hits just right if you're wanting to like get sort of like a more serious point off. So with that said, the instrumental was great. 2K, I believe this is the first time we've ever heard a Heretic track from 2K. I'd like to hear more of 2K with Heretic. Like, I feel like this is a really cool duo. I fuck with this a lot. So, let's talk about vocals here, because we have Heretic and then we have Dread. So, Heretic really surprised me here. I didn't know Heretic could sing like this and like hit notes and like really like almost make it like it's I wouldn't say it's like a ballad or anything like that, but it's definitely like one of those tracks that really like what's the word, like really took me by surprise, because he didn't have to like start like singing. It's like a very like specific Lord Heretic kind of like vocals we're getting here. But some of these ad libs and like background vocals are really dope. Like, they stay true to like the Heretic sound, right? Because like there's like, you know, like a good like maybe one or two like heavy ad libs, and like some of like the layering is like so dope, like because it keeps like that Heretic core, and yet it's still a very like emotional track, which is awesome, which is really really fucking dope. I feel like if you can blend sounds like that, especially if they're like your own, right? Because Heretics usually done like a lot of like heavier type of vocals, so when it comes to this, like, it's cool that he didn't like completely not do anything. that was heavy. So it's a lot of the little shit done here in the vocals that's really like really dope to me. I'm not gonna lie. Now, the mix here is so interesting. It really makes it for me. It's like almost raw and like not perfected. Like you almost get a crazy insight on like what Heretic sounds like, making almost a different kind of vibe. So this was like, damn, okay, you know what I mean? Like this was totally like, I don't know, it was such a different insight on Heretic than like what we're used to here on the show, right? So I'm definitely really intrigued and would love to hear more of this. Would love to hear more of this Heretic, whether it be about love or anything of that nature, but mostly the acoustic tracks and like what Heretic could do on them. But yeah, with that said, the mix is great here. Mix is really, really great here. But all in all, I'd say the shining star for Heretic's vocals would probably be the writing. The writing is really, really dope because it's not too like not like super emotional, but it's like emotional enough as to where like you could almost call it moody. Almost, you know what I mean? It's more moody than it is emotional. So I really like the writing for that, 100%. Now, Dread definitely brought a different element here. I feel like Dread did the thing that you really got to do if you're going to feature on somebody's track, and it's totally just do your thing on it and bring a different element. And Dread totally like filled that role of like bringing a different type of vibe to what Heretic already did to the track, and yet kept it on theme lyrically. So Dread was a nice addition here, and Dread really like didn't stray too far from like the overall idea of the track and really fit well on this 2K beat. So I feel like Dread really did their thing. I wasn't too crazy on the mix. I feel like I would have liked almost another mix. But other than that, I feel like Dread did a really good job and really nailed it when it comes to like bringing a different element to being a feature artist on somebody's track. Now, let's talk about the theme here. Aesthetically, the cover's great. Really screams baby girl without a doubt. It's like still kind of dark, but the hints of like red and pink and like throwing the parental advisory up is really perfect to me. Like it really keeps like the whole dark love vibe of like almost the track, right? Because it's very moody. It's a very moody cover, and in turn we have a moody track. So I really feel like it really aesthetically nailed it in terms of a cover, without a doubt. Lyrically, definitely, I guess you could call it a love track. It's definitely a track about love for sure. There's a few lines a lot of people could relate to. I like a lot of the punchlines here. Really keep it like, really keep it consistent, and Dread really like kept on with the pace that Heretic really set out for the track. So I love Dread for that. But lyrically, there's a big emotional undertone here, and not something we normally get from Heretic. So for me, this is a really good insight. I'm not gonna lie to you. This is a really like interesting kind of like, oh, okay, you know what I mean? Like Heretics. I believe I was talking to him not too long ago, and like Heretic loves making heavy shit, but like Heretic also likes making other stuff too. You know what I mean? And I feel like this is a good blend of like his like almost heavier vocals, and then like yeah, it's just like this like crazy different kind of like almost experimental sound that he was working with, and like hitting notes and like singing and like really doing like different kinds of like cadences and like mixing it with his not old style but like regular style, I guess you could say. So that really hit for me. This is a really like interesting style for Heretic, and I would love to see more of this for sure. Whether it be emotional or even just sounds like this, I would love to hear more of this, and I definitely would love to hear more in UA2K for sure. Definitely would love to hear more of U2, without a doubt. So, that was a treat, man. That was a pretty rare Heretic track. That was definitely a treat, for sure. Awesome. So, with that said, shout out to Lord Heretic. Thank you for the submission, homie. Much fucking love. Make sure you follow Heretic on SoundCloud. He's approaching 800. And of course, make sure you follow Lord Heretic on Twitter at Lord Heretic. Make sure you go read our interview that dropped last Friday. Super good, super lengthy, super detailed. Definitely one of the best we've dropped on Music Mondays yet. And of course, per usual, every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe if you haven't already. We're approaching 50 subs. And if you have, thank you. Drop a like, show these artists some love, man. Let's continue on, chat. 3 left, and I believe this is a first time submitting artist. SCN3K, Eric. Interesting. Definitely a first time submitting artist. We've definitely not received anything from Eric. Not at all. And they submitted a track titled Madonna. I'm kind of interested. The cover is great. Holy shit. The cover is really dope. Yeah, we've not played anything from 3K. Interesting. So this will be sort of a really good first impression. Because I believe they've been following Music Mondays for a while. So let's check this one out. SCN3K, Madonna.
Please don't try to run up. I'm not with the drama, but I'm with my brothers, and they might put you under. I'm not gonna even say a thing. I look like Stevie Wonder. Got the pack in my pocket, singing just like Madonna. I just popped me half a perk, it took me to Nirvana. I need fire for the verse, cause I'ma need the commas. If you're not talking about, I'm not hearing it. I'm trying to get me a comma. My bro keep the stick in the back with the cereal. Wear that boy up like a plumber. She said that I wouldn't be shit. Is you serious? I think this little hood delirious. I cannot fuck with a random appearances. My circle smaller than periods. Made the appointment and I'ma take care of it. Hit from the back, gotta ask her what year it is. All of a sudden she acting so spirited, sending me images. Hop on the track, I'm gonna go with a passion. First day I hopped in the whip, almost crashed it. First day I talked to your bitch, I'ma smash it. Asked her what happened, she said I got a mess. They run away, but that nigga be lacking. So I just took her, bro, I ain't even asked it. You cannot blame me for that shit. Guess that's a law of attraction. Guess that's a law of attraction. Please don't try to run up. I'm not with the drama, but I'm with my brothers, and they might put you under. I'm not gonna even say a thing.
This hook is crazy.
Got the pack in my pocket, singing just like Madonna. Can't hang with no fuck niggas, real gang on my roster. I really can't trust bitches. I see what they offer. How you acting tough, then pulling up in a Mazda. At least pull up in a Benz, fuck nigga. Yeah, you sending shots, won't even thought, nigga. Can't stress, I'm smoking on rights, nigga. With a sword on my back like trunks, nigga. If I say the word, rap, it gon' clutch. Send it back to the earth like dust, nigga. Boy, look at my wrist, it bust. And I still ain't got time to come fuck with you. And I just can't put my trust in you. Only got trust in myself. I'm knowing these bitches gon' do what they gotta do, nigga. They tryna run up a little wealth. I'm going up, better check on my latitude. Only a minute before you get left. Walk out in VR, dressed to impress with the big ass buckle like BB the belt. Call up the troops with the CB right there. Put them on TV like seeing in you. I know that they tell it be tired of seeing me walk in the bank shit like you again. I just put in a check, put a new one. They feeling like king, but you know I'm a hooligan. 3-1-200, I swear to big body bitch. You know that I'm moving it. Please don't try to run up. I'm not with the drama, but
this hook is crazy, bro.
Might put you under. I'm not gonna even say a thing. I look like Stevie Wonder. Got the pack in my pocket, singing just like Madonna.
Facts. It's literally what I was doing in my head. Well, that's a fucking bop and a half. What a first impression. Shout out to 3K, man. What the fuck? Holy shit. Okay. So you guys know the drill, man. Let's break this down. We're going to talk about 3 categories. We're going to talk about the instrumental. We're going to talk about vocals. And we're going to talk about the overall theme of Madonna. So, wow, this instrumental was... I look like Stevie Wonder. Yeah, legit. Like, that shit was fucking great. Holy fuck. But this instrumental was great. A very, like, super raw hip-hop instrumental, without a doubt. Definitely has some solid trap elements, good trap drums. But all in all, very, like, organic hip-hop. Like, solid instrumental. So I like the instrumental choice here. A mix on the instrumental is great. Shout out this producer. And all in all, gave 3K like a lot of room to really spit, if I'm being honest, and really like set him up for like a great like a like bro. A lot of people could have picked this and not came out with as good of a hook as 3K did, without a fucking doubt. Just because this is almost sort of like a very rare instrumental in terms of like how often you hear people kill these types, and I really feel like 3K did their thing for sure. So the instrumental was solid. The vocals. I'm a huge fan of 3K's mix. Fits really well in the instrumental. Truly, 3K gives me like this like really good, like organic, raw, like down to the core hip hop vibe. Like, and their vocals are so well performed that like this is like a good example of like modern hip hop too. Like, it's got a little bit of everything, but vocally it's like it's really hitting the nail on the head for me for like a good example of like modern hip hop. And that's partially due to the mix as well, but I really feel like flows and cadences here are the shining star. The writing is definitely good, lots of good punchlines. And like I said, the mix sat really well, so it made this all the more better. But the cadences and flows were great. 3K slid all over this, man. 3K was doing his fucking thing. Mostly the hook is what stuck with me. The hook is like really well written and performed. Tonight was truly like the night of the hooks, man. Like, we've had like 3 or 4 like insane fucking hooks. Like, holy shit. But yeah, man, this one's no different. You could be fucking singing this tonight, bro, but it's the cadence of it is what's great. So 3K, I think he did a really good job with that. Really good job. Now, like I said, writing was solid, punchlines were solid, but shining star for me, for sure, was the flows and cadences and how everything was performed and recorded, for sure. Very memorable hook, without a doubt. I look like Stevie Wonder. Let's talk about the theme, man. So aesthetically, Madonna with the Heart, perfect track title for this. But even more so, this cover fucking nailed me. It kind of reminds me of the Call of Duty camo. And you guys are about to know exactly what I'm talking about if you're a Call of Duty player. But it has that same like texture pattern, yet it has like this rainbow almost into it almost. It's great. It's a great foundation, but like the image above it and like the way that they're layered is some of my favorite styles of covers, and I really like the way this one is done. So shout out to whoever made this art, man. Very unique. Now, lyrically, this theme is super obvious. And really just a show of skill, honestly. 3K is like a really, really talented songwriter. Really, really fucking talented songwriter. But even more so than that, the performance and the way that they articulated themselves throughout the song is like really top tier. Really, really fucking top tier. 3K is definitely seasoned or just extremely talented. Either way, lyrically, this theme was great because it's like simple songwriting yet effective, but like the way that the hook was written and performed is like almost giving me veteran kind of vibes. I really like the way that 3K like did their thing on this. And of course rap nicely in between punchlines, couple of verses, and just about hit that 3-minute mark. So I feel like this is like a good like cover song. If somebody were to ask, yo, let me hear your music or da 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 da, this would be a great song to show somebody if I were 3K, because I feel like he really snapped on this and really like gave something more than just rapping. Like the cadence, the flows, and like the type of punchlines you're getting here with Madonna, pretty organic and pretty original. And I fuck with 3K for that, man. Really, really good first impression, for sure. So with that said, shout out to SCN3K or Season 3K, whichever you prefer. Thank you for your submission, homie. Much, much fucking love. And of course, make sure you follow 3K on Twitter. Every artist featured in today's episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe. We're approaching 50 subscribers, man. And if you already have, thank you. Drop a like. Support some of these artists. Tell them Music Monday sent you. Show them some love, man. So, we've got 2 submissions left, ladies, gentlemen, and everybody. We got 2. And they're 2 absolute goats, for sure. This first one, Ghost Candy, or Candy Ghost, submitted a track titled Potholes. And their caption was an oldie but a goodie. So, if you don't know who Ghost Candy is, first off, they were on our recent project, Carry Cases of Mondays Collection 1, so make sure you go run their track up. Super, super, super dope instrumental. But Ghost Candy has been submitting to Music Mondays for well over a year, submitting back in our early days, and really always shown support. Super talented producer, vocalist, raps on their own beats. Really just a jack of all arts, to be honest with you. So, like I said, they submitted a track titled Potholes, and we're going to pop this open a new tabaroni. And we're going to check this one out, man. 7 months ago. So, not super old, but not super brand new either. The cover is definitely giving me very, like, I wouldn't say sad, but very, like, I guess lonely, almost sad vibes, but like not really, because it's a very like, it almost looks like a flashback, like memory kind of cover, right? Like looking at a memory. But let's get into this one, because this one seems like a rare gem from Ghost Candy for sure. So, Ghost Candy, Potholes. Let's get into it. Oh, this sample's crazy. What the fuck? Ghost always has the craziest samples.
Hey, yo, Ghost.
Thank you for no heart, no heart. I'ma go to the stars, take a trip to the bar. It ain't far, better say so long, cause I'm gone. Brand new Cobain, that's me. Shot it to the brain, I'm free. That's all around me, knee deep. Fuck it, I'm on the edge, I'm a lead. Thank you for no heart, no heart. I'ma go to the stars, take a trip to the bar. It ain't far, better say so long, cause I'm gone. Brand new Cobain, that's me. Shot it to the brain, I'm free. That's all around me, knee deep. Fuck it, I'm on the edge, I'm a lead. And I'm gone, whoa. Faded tomorrows. Watch for potholes. Watch for potholes. Ayy, popped a couple bars again. Scroll down some sides so my eyes are red. Shit, if I'm being honest, the drugs been close thing. I got the friends. I ain't even kidding, that's the fucked up part. I would try to fix the shit if I was smart. Instead, I'ma work on my craft, over one day I'll make it to the top of the charts. To be honest, I'm gonna go far. Just look where we already are. Take it one battle at a time, but one day I'll end up facing my scars. Thank you for no heart, no heart. I'ma go to the stars, take a trip to the bar, it ain't far. Better stay so long, cause I'm gone. Brand new Cobain, that's me. Shot it to the brain, I'm free. That's all around me, me deep. Fuck it, I'm on the edge, I'm elite. And I'm gone, whoa. Faded tomorrows. Watch for potholes, watch for potholes. Out here getting dough, in the bloody snow. Trying to fix my woes, just the way life goes. Watching over my souls, watching over my bros. Thinking about shit I chose, where I switch these flows. Sneaking on tippy toes, even the dead arose. Yeah, they already know, got the life of a crow. Thank you for no heart, no heart. I'ma go to the stars, take a trip to the bar, it ain't far. Better stay so long, cause I'm gone. Brand new Cobain, that's me. Shot it to the brain, I'm free. That's all around me, me deep. Fuck it, I'm on the edge, I'm elite. And I'm gone, whoa. Faded tomorrows. Watch for potholes, watch for potholes. And I'm gone, whoa. Faded tomorrows. Watch for potholes, watch for potholes.
Wow. There is so much to talk about. What the fuck? Okay, let's hop right into this one, man. This one's a classic, definitely. Cause like Ghost said, an oldie but goodie. But yeah, Mark, I could totally see you on this, and the flow is definitely dope. Definitely dope. Kale heard it. Kale's a smart motherfucker right there. So, of course, you guys know the drill. We're gonna break this down by 3 categories. We're gonna talk about the instrumental. We're gonna talk about vocals. We're gonna talk about the overall theme of potholes. So, Ghost is like such a talented producer when it comes to samples. Some of his vocal samples are so well used and well done and not overdone, especially in terms of drums and like what he like does with vocals on them. Because of course, as you know, he's a producer like I mentioned. But also uses his own instrumentals as well. So this is like such a really dope insight on some early Ghost. So with that in mind, you can't really harp on the mix or anything like that too hard because 7 months ago, of course everybody's getting better every track and all that sort of stuff. So with that said, I really feel like this vocal sample was so well used, so well used, and it's definitely like a very like chill, laid back kind of like you could like some of the lyrics almost describe how you feel like it's a very like drive, kick back, smoke, relax kind of vibe without a doubt. But Ghost is like rapping it in this flow where it's just like okay, like you can like chill out but you're listening to Ghost spit at the same time. So shout out to Ghost for this production because I feel like this production really like had a solid foundation for that. The mix was good. Drums were excellent. Not too wide or anything like that. So yeah, honestly, well done on the instrumental. I really like the vocals and like the samples. Like Ghost is a really good sample producer for sure. The lazy not exactly, Mark. Well said. The lazy and not lazy rap vibes. Exactly. Because you can like kick back and smoke, but Ghost is fucking spitting. Like almost like Currency can. You know what I mean? Like Currency comes to mind where it's like you could kick back and smoke, but you could just listen to him spit as well. Like those kind of tracks are definitely vibey for sure. So I fuck with this a lot. And I feel, and sort of like I said, I feel like the instrumental like really gave it the platform for that and really, boosted it up. So let's talk about vocals. Now, the flows. Man, first thing that comes to mind when I think about this track and really just like it is one of those songs where the verses continue on from like the hook, but like the hook sounds like a verse. So it's like it almost feels like Ghost is spitting the whole time, but like you forget that the hook is so good that it's actually a hook. So you're like, what the fuck? And it really shows like Ghost's skill as not only a vocalist but a producer vocalist as well, putting vocals on their own instrumental. So well done there. Mix was a little low, but like I said 7 months ago, so you can't really harp on it too much. Ghost has progressed insanely in the last 7 months. And really been like one of those artists that has like done something and like you could fast forward like a couple of weeks and they release another song and like you could compare the two and like you can see the progression. So Ghost has progressed immensely since this, especially on Curing Cases of the Mondays. But all in all, the mix was still kind of okay. Like even with a vocal sample, I feel like it wasn't too overbearing or anything like that. So it's still pretty solid. Now, the writing here was excellent. Writing and punchlines were great. Some hidden punchlines, some simple ones, and all in all, really really done up in a way where performing them really made them that much better. You know what I mean? Because you could write some bars like these down in your phone or on a paper and you'd be like, that's okay. But like when you go perform it, I feel like it can sound completely different. And Ghost definitely touches on that a little bit here, as to where like some punchlines are, simple and some things fly over your head, but at the same time, it's the way it's performed. And I think it was performed really nice and recorded really nice. So all in all, instrumental, really, really solid. I love the vocal sample. Vocals, really, really solid. Flows and cadences really just, it was like a whole go button under a really chill beat, and I think that's awesome. It's pretty hard to make a track like that. Now, let's talk about the overall theme of Potholes, right? Because Potholes definitely gives me like the very memory kind of vibe aesthetically. The cover is popped balloon, or I guess a deflated balloon. Very simple, very like ghost candy. It even has like the ghost candy colors, because Ghost, I believe not too long ago, had a profile picture and it was like the baby blue kind of like pinkish colors. So definitely like it keeps on brand with like Ghost Candy's his signature colors almost, right? And obviously track title Potholes. But lyrically, this theme is kind of interesting. Um, like there's a couple different themes throughout the song. So you could grab onto a few different things here, and really all in all, it's a few different chill themes, whether it's getting faded, getting bread, or just staying out the way. I really feel like you could grab on any one of those and really like make this your song. So like this is like an all around song for a couple different like groups of people, and I think it's really dope for that. I'm not gonna lie. Um, and I think one of the best parts about it lyrically is the fact that it's like on go the whole time, but it's a very chill song. And like Mark said, the lazy, not lazy. And it's really like, I feel like Ghost excels like that. Like, Ghost is a really, really good spitter for sure. But the one thing that's like super notorious is the vocal samples. And once again, even 7 months ago, Ghost was killing it with the vocal samples for sure. So, with that said, shout out to Ghost Candy. Thank you for the submission, homie. Much, much, much fucking love. Make sure you show Ghost some love, man. Ghost is approaching 100 SoundCloud followers. Go show him some love. Go check out some of Ghost tracks, man. Follow Ghost Candy on Twitter. Ghost is approaching 20 followers. Go show him some love, man. And of course, per usual, every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe. We're approaching 50 subs. And if you already did, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Drop a like, show these artists some love, show the video some love, and thank you. So, last but most certainly not least, we have King Mark. And there aren't enough really, really good things to say about Mark. You guys know how I feel about Mark, and Mark is just one hell of a talented individual. Like, just not even exaggeration. Between the genres, the attitude, Mark's helpfulness around the Music Mondays community, and just being like a really like good vibe. It is really some crazy traits to have as an artist. Mark's just a really, really dope individual. You know, really, really just pretty rare breed. That's for sure. And not to mention the work ethic is really there as well. So this week's submission from Mark kind of made me laugh a little bit. It was funny because I remember when it came through, and he said the people have asked, and I must listen. And he posted another link under it, and he said, "New link, that one no work." Bro, that shit had me in fucking tears. Like, actually in fucking tears. So, obviously, unreleased track here. We're gonna pop it open a new tab. Shout out to Mark for finding that out. Now, this is really interesting. I don't know what we're about to get here. I don't know, man. So, Mark actually made this art, and it's probably one of my favorite pieces from Mark. Really, like, I saw this piece early on, and then I saw it when it was finished, and it's just probably one of my, like, favorite Mark pieces to date. One of them. Really, like, bro, the face tats, like, fuck, dude. New merch from King Mark, baby. And I got something special. Doing a photo shoot very, 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 very soon, so you better fucking look out for that brand new Mark. So, R&B Bloodcat, or R&B Bloodcat. That was like hard to look at because the R&B is like already like, I was trying to say like 2 B's for it or some shit like that, like R&B Bloodcat. But this is going to be interesting because if you listen to Curing Case of the Mondays, you got a really interesting insight on King Mark and Bloodcat as a duo. And this will be the same. So let's check this one out. They Don't Know You, featuring Bloodcat, King Mark. Harn, Big W.
Like, baby, don't you understand? Like, no, I don't wanna be your man. Throwing hundreds in the club, just a couple of fans. Said she really wanna come with me, she said she a fan. Like, whoa, she only want me for the money. I've been blowing up and now she's saying that I'm funny. Why you tryna play me like a dummy? Damn, I knew you was bluffing. Like, whoa, shawty, you know that I can't do that. Cop a foreign and it's shit straight from Japan. Murakami on the whip when you give it a glance. When you look at the shit, you would think it was planned. Like, whoa, why the fuck you think I'm dummy? Always wanna play me for this money. I knew you wanna run up on your homies, cause I know that boy was bluffing.
That was great. What the fuck?
No. They don't know you the way I know you. They don't know you. Baby, what you get into?
Shawty think I'm down. She rather water my guns and I don't want none. She wanna fight me for fun, she keep me low, she feed me crumbs. Still I hit her with the pump. Shawty, nobody know you like I do. Nobody more used to being lied to. Baby, I'm on your side, but what you trying to hide? My life, your life, I ain't even invite you. Baby, look away, I know I'll be alright. Mix Molly with the pills and I don't feel right. Sometimes I forget that this is real life.
birthday to save me this time. It's about to save me this time. A lot of life done changed me, baby. Turn on the lights so you don't see what I'ma do. Cause if you do, then I'll be stuck with you.
Lately, baby, you've been driving me crazy. Lately, baby, wanna make you my lady. Lately, baby, you've been driving me crazy.
Holy shit.
You understand, like, no, I don't wanna be your man. Throwing hundreds in the club, there's a couple of fans. Said she really wanna come with me, she said she a fan. Like, whoa, only want me for the money. I've been blowing up and now she's saying that I'm funny. Why you play me like a dummy? I knew you was bluffing. They don't know you.
Wow.
They don't know you the way I do. They don't know you. They don't know you the way I do.
What the fuck? Yo. This has gotta be my favorite Mark and Bloodcat track. Personal favorite. I mean, they're all great, but this one, what the fuck? Exclusive Music Mondays, secret premiere, They Don't Know You featuring Bloodcat King Mark. This was a treat. This was a real fucking treat. I like the variety. I like a lot about this. A lot. Okay. Let me just get right into this. Let's talk about three things. We're going to talk about the instrumental. We're going to talk about vocals. We're going to talk about the overall theme of They Don't Know You. So, the instrumental is a 10 out of 10 from me. It's fucking insane. Much like Ghost Candy in our previous submission, the vocal sample here is so well used, man. So well used. I almost like how it's like a third feature almost in this track. You could really almost do so much with it, and I really feel like they stretched it enough. Like, Mark and Bloodcat really did like a fucking excellent job with like really stretching this out. Yeah, whoever prod this did a really good job. Really good job. But I'd say the vocal sample really does it for me. Mix is solid. Vocals sit really well on this. Super simple, very R&B alternative kind of vibes. It was an excellent choice. I got it written down somewhere though. Yeah, for sure. Shout out whoever did. 100%. Because of course, unreleased, so obviously no description or anything like that yet. But yeah, this is great. This is really great. Yeah, I'd say the sample here is almost like a third feature because it's used so well in the structure. So instrumental here is a definite 10 out of 10 for me, for sure. A really great choice for two artists like Mark and Bloodcat as well. But let's talk about vocals here, because this is like the bulk and the more important part of this, because like I said, this vocal sample kind of instrumental was a perfect foundation for these two. And I really feel like I'm almost impressed again, because I know Bloodcat's and Mark's potential, but I'm so impressed with like how well they paired up doing not like quote unquote different shit, but like a different style, I guess you could say. You know what I mean? Like, let's just do some R&B shit, and y'all fucking killed it. So the track starts off with Mark, and Mark really brings back almost the classic King Mark vibes with really good bars, sort of like good flows and cadences, but like almost in like a hip hop style, you know, in classic King Mark fashion. But there's almost like a new spin on it. It's almost like if Mark were to like go back now and like make those kind of like classic Mark tracks, I feel like that like this is what they'd come out as. You know what I mean? And it's even tagged as electronic. and I'm sure that's just SoundCloud like auto tagging it, but this is definitely like a very alternative kind of R&B hip hop kind of mark we're getting here, which is pretty, I wouldn't say pretty rare, but not a common occurrence nonetheless. So this is a really good insight on like what Mark can do on a track that's different, you know what I mean? Because Mark's a artist of variety. Mark has a lot of variety. Same with Bloodcat as well. But Mark definitely has a solid variety of art that we've reviewed here on Music Mondays. And this definitely reminds me of some like throwback Mark, but in modern, times, right? So this mix here though was really good. Really, really fucking good. Not too overbearing. Sometimes Mark likes to do a couple different things with his mix, and this is like very like almost raw King Mark. Light effects, everything's very light. And Mark just went on this track and really fucking nailed some really, really, really good flows. Just sort of vibed with the track. You know what I mean? This is definitely one of those tracks where you could see this being like a lot of fun to make. You know what I mean? Like I'd be bopping in this fucking studio, I'd be like, like this is definitely like one of those, it's a bop. It really is a bop. It makes you bop your head. So Mark, as far as the mix goes, solid. Writing's really good too, because with this kind of vocal sample, I feel like if you write a little like almost around the vocal sample, it can make your verse like so much doper, and Mark definitely hit that nail on the head for me, for sure. Now, Mark set a tone, and Mark really showed what he could do on this track. And something that I really, really like is how Bloodcat comes in and really like not like changes the atmosphere, but it's Bloodcat. So it's like, okay, you have solid Mark, you're vibing, and then Bloodcat hits, and you're like, okay, like this is Bloodcat. Like it's such a good duo track. It's such a good fucking duo track, because not only do they hit the feature thing, where I feel like Bloodcat came in and really added like a different element and really came in and became Bloodcat on a Mark song, which of course, as you've heard me say tonight a couple times, all you got to do as a feature track is obviously, lay down whatever you want to lay down on the verse, but really bring your own element to it. And I feel like Bloodcat fucking nailed that element for me. Especially like when you talk about a King Mark project and features and things like that. It really brought it to me, like because it feels like a Mark song, but when you feature Bloodcat, it's perfect when they come in and really like bring the Bloodcat sauce. You know what I mean? Because much like I said for Mark, we've heard a lot of variety of Mark's music, whether it be alternative hip hop, lo-fi hip hop, electronic, pop, pitch up vocals, down pitch vocals. We've heard a lot of King Mark. And same for Bloodcat though. Like that's the thing. And Bloodcat really came in and was able to come in and like identify the perfect flow for this, and we really got like R&B cat for sure. And having listened to so much of these two here on the show, I really couldn't picture this track coming together in any better way. Like I feel like this is like top form for these two on one track. You know what I mean? Because they each could have took the beat and made their own song with it, whatever. But when you bring the duo together like this, and they're able to add their own elements, and like the thing is like these are two artists who have some of the widest fucking varieties. Like the widest. Like I'm talking wider than a motherfucker, bro. Like we've heard a lot of different stuff from Bloodcat and a lot of different stuff from Mark, which is great. You know what I mean? That's really what it's all about, pushing yourself as an artist, making new stuff, making whatever the fuck you want to make, right? And the fact that these two artists who have such wide varieties can come together here and make this such a duo kind of song, but like make themselves so identifiable, to me, is what make this really, really fucking sick. Really sick. But that's just right off the rip. Bloodcat comes in and really like lays down the whole like Bloodcat vibe, but also stays on theme with what Mark laid out previous, right? So like when you're going into this blind and like say you never heard Bloodcat or Mark, you're not going to be like, oh, like why is this guy talking about not what the song is about? Bloodcat stayed on theme, stayed on everything. Like I really feel like this was like such like the definition of like a good duo track, and really more importantly like a good feature track too, right? Like Bloodcat really served on the feature. So vocals from both Mark and Bloodcat were excellent. I love each mix. You get that good Bloodcat mix, and then you get that like good hip hop Mark mix, where he's able to like almost R&B kind of hip hop spit. And then the writing for each of you was like it came together at the end by the time Bloodcat comes on, but like you each had your own different points on the same kind of vibe. And like once again going back to the vocal sample really is just like the third feature in the track, right? Because you both play off of the vocal sample so fucking well. And I would agree that this might be like one of those tracks like on a project where you can like you have the ear test, right? And it's just like, oh boom, like that's the single. You know what I mean? Like that's, you know, the music video, that's the, you know, the hit, quote unquote. So I'm getting really good vibes from this. I enjoy this a lot. Like this hit all of the nails on the head for me when it comes to two of the best artists here we've ever featured on Music Mondays. Like I really feel like this is like peak Music Mondays that we got to hear this collab first, because we've listened to so much Mark, we've listened to so much Bloodcat. I'm actually really excited we got to hear this. This is really, really sick. Two artists right here that if they keep doing what they're doing, they're gonna get extremely, extremely fucking far. So let's talk about the theme here. Now, obviously unreleased, so not too much of an aesthetic theme. Mark will elaborate more on his artwork and track title and things like that. So lyrically, They Don't Know You, like I said, I feel like they played off the vocal samples so well. So fucking well. And like I just really feel like things like this are so dope to me when like even some of my favorite classic hip hop songs have had samples that artists play off of in their verses, right? Like They Don't Know, like bro, like that shit is so like it's so dope to me as a listener. And then like knowing like how far each of your libraries go, it's really, really amazing that you were both able to utilize this sample in a way where you had two completely different verses but came together with a common theme, and definitely a very like overall obvious theme, and a great use of this sample nonetheless. The layering on that bridge is insane. I just love how it came out. I listened to that part of the track dripping. I think my appendix burst in joy. Bro, I was with VC the homie. I was literally screaming. Favorite moment was pulls back, giving all ambience, pulls back, her ears and face again for the last hook. Nah, literally, like Bloodcat like almost finishes off like this track like in like perfect Bloodcat fashion, as to where like he went super crazy at the end, but Mark wrapped it up. And I thought that was a really nice touch. Really nice touch, because like as a feature, like I like when feature artists like come in, sprinkle their like whatever they want to sprinkle, right? And the hook comes back in, and the hook was the closer here, so it was like Mark, Bloodcat, closer, and an outro. So it was like, okay, like the structure was like almost super epic. Like it was very like I said, like a really good duo collab. For real. I don't know what I expected when I got it back, but man, that shit was crazy. Matched the whole vibes. Perfect matched the whole vibes for sure. So with that said, instrumental amazing. The producer really snapped on it. Both of you really killed your vocals. Really played off of the vocal sample really, really well, which is my favorite part. And the theme is great, like it's very R&B oriented, but you both were able to sprinkle in a little bit of Mark and a little bit of Cat. You know what I'm saying? So, man, this is a really, really dope treat. Really, really dope treat. So, with that said, you've just heard the exclusive Music Mondays premiere of They Don't Know You, King Mark featuring a Bloodcat. Project dropping extremely soon. Shout out to King Mark for the submission and letting us play this live on stream. Thank you, thank you, thank you, homie. Much fucking love. And of course, make sure you follow Mark on SoundCloud. Mark is approaching 150 on the big old SC. King Cat, there you go, King Cat, King Cat. And of course, make sure you follow Mark on Twitter at King Mark Music. Mark is approaching the big 300 on Twitter, so make sure you go show him some love. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload, man. And of course, if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe. Show some love. We're approaching 50 subscribers. And if you've already subscribed, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And of course, drop a like, show some of these artists some love, drop them a follow, support the video. And if you already have, thank you. Like or whatever, Young Gravy, and yes, Mark, yes, holy shit, yes. Holy shit. I believe, yeah, we're good to go. That concludes episode 69 submission. That was great, man. That was great. You guys absolutely snapped this week. Really, like, such an insane variety. Like truly like an insane variety. Huge shout out to everybody who submitted this week, man. Much fucking love. We've been snapping every week on the show. If you came through tonight, if you showed love tonight, thank you, thank you, thank you. If you submitted for this week, thank you. All of you guys killed it. I'll be tweeting out top 3 artists of tonight's show as soon as stream ends. We can sit here and chat it up for a little bit. I'm gonna tell you guys about what's upcoming this week. We have another interview dropping this Friday as well, by Raylo, our Music Mondays community writer. And submissions open for the big 70, episode 70 of the Music Mondays podcast. So if you'd like to be a part of episode 70, make sure you follow us on all socials. Make sure you follow us on Twitter. More importantly, that's where we drop submissions. Submissions should be live tomorrow afternoon. And they'll be live for about 7 days until we go live next Monday with episode 70. And yeah, man, you guys killed it tonight. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you've been listening to us on Spotify or wherever you listen to podcasts, I appreciate you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We should be caught up on Spotify like relatively soon. Spotify, shit, I think we'll have damn near almost 60 episodes up this week. So be on the lookout for that for sure. Yeah. There are a few things that I can't speak on, that Music Mondays is planning, post May going into June. A lot of stuff that the artists are going to enjoy and everybody who is involved in Music Mondays is going to enjoy. But more on that relatively soon. The grind continues, my friends. The grind continues. We put out content every day, man. Like I said, submissions open tomorrow for next week's podcast. Submissions open for SoundCloud Sunday on Wednesday. We also drop Spotify episodes every Wednesday of the Music Mondays podcast. YouTube uploads go live every Thursday. Weekly articles every Friday on allmusicmondays.com. And even more importantly, this episode 68, will be live on our YouTube channel this Saturday and every Saturday. So if you're like, damn, I missed a stream, where can I watch it? Where can I, anything like that? Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube. You'll never miss an episode. And we upload these VODs every Saturday, as well as other segments and Music Mondays hosted tracks and things like that. A lot of that stuff is available on our channel as well. So, huge shout out to anybody who came through, showed love tonight. Episode 69, man. Literally episode 69. Big shout out to Bloodcat, King Mark, Kale, Rubes, Tone Deaf, Offspring, anybody else who came through, showed love. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. You guys are the best. And anybody else who lurked and chilled, thank you. And of course, huge shout out to Kale for the tier 1 Twitch Prime sub to support the channel. I hope you enjoy your emotes. Thank you for choosing to use your Prime sub here on Music Mondays. Thank you, Kale. Yeah, man, shout out to everybody who submitted, came through, showed love. Thank you. You hopping in VC after this song? Shit, I just might, Mark. I just might. Why not, baby? I just might. But that just about concludes it for episode 69, man. Let me see if anybody is live. I'll go show them some love. But yeah, man, thank you again to anybody who came through, showed love. That was a good 3.5 for sure. And definitely an interesting episode to say the least. So I'll be live next week for episode 70 per usual. I mean, I'm live every day here, but I do gaming streams at night, and then every Monday we do the show, and then during the day I work on music and, you know, tend to a bunch of business things that you guys don't need to hear about. So with that said, I'll see you guys next week, and obviously tomorrow if you guys ever want to stop by the stream. But I'll see you guys next week for our next episode of Music Mondays. It'll be the big 70. Shout out to Mark and Tone Deaf. Thank you guys. I'll see you guys next week. And chat, thank you guys. Be safe. Shout out to everybody. Enjoy yourselves. I'll see you next week for episode 70. Later.